Good morning and welcome to Allan Border Field for today's first semi-final of a double-header semi-final clash in the women's Katherine Raymont Shield. We're getting to watch the Western Suburbs play Sandgate Redcliffe in the T20 semi-final. Winner goes through to tomorrow afternoon's final. Joining me in commentary today, my name's Billy Deem, is Michael Wright. Michael, it's humid.
It is muggy here at AB Field and in the commentary box, but great to have cricket on after what was a wet week leading up and a wet Sunday last week. So great to have the field up and ready for what is a massive doubleheader of T20 semi-finals with plenty of big names and stars rolling out for their clubs. So should be a great Saturday and Sunday.
Looking forward to it a lot, especially today's matches first up. Just looking around the field, it is green as. I reckon the grass is growing as we watch it. It's that warm and humid here, but the wicket looks such a bright yellow.
I'm sure it's a great deck. We've had a few Premier Cricket finals and fixtures here since mid to late October, and they've all been rather high scoring. So I'd expect there to be runs on show today. But still a good chance if the bowlers work hard and bowl in the right areas. So great facilities here. So
yeah, looking tailor-made for a T20 semi-final. I've been watching a bit of the cricket in New Zealand where you can't pick the difference between the wicket and the outfield.
Yeah, a bit different here. You'd probably want this type of wicket for a limited overs game, whereas maybe in the test matches over there they can have a bit of grass on them. So, but two very strong teams we have here today with Western Suburbs, the undefeated T20 side in this year's competition, taking on Sandgate Redcliffe, who have some huge names in regards to Beth Mooney, Tess Cooper, Georgia Vole. So great first matchup between the two sides. Got last year's T20 premiers in West versus last year's one-day premiers in Sandgate Redcliffe. So should be a great spectacle. Yeah,
looking forward to it. It's a bit of a who's who as you go through the team list in this match and also in this afternoon's other semi-final. But just focusing on this game between Western Suburbs and Sandgate Redcliffe, toss has happened. Sandgate Redcliffe have won the toss and decided to bowl first, which is a little unusual here at AB Field. Teams like to bat first traditionally.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I guess in T20 limited overs, you can see how they go and back yourself to chase it. Obviously, Sandgate boasts probably three of some of the best T20 limited overs batters going around Queensland. And obviously Beth Mooney, Georgia Vole, who is coming off two T20 hundreds in the last time she rolled out for Sandgate Redcliffe a couple of weekends ago, and Tess Cooper. So I reckon they'd back themselves to chase plenty. But if they can come out and bowl and surprise Western Suburbs and get through some cheap overs, well, they might keep their total down. But I think for West batting first, the big target's going to be Grace Harris. Very strong and dominates Katherine Raymont Shield, as well as higher level cricket. So I think she'll be the big wicket for Sandgate Redcliffe.
As I sort of look through how the teams have performed this season across both formats of the one day and the T20, it would be probably fair to say, Michael, that Sandgate Redcliffe's strength is more their batting, West's strength is more their bowling across the season, although taking Grace Harris out of the equation, she's an enigma all by herself in the stats, but West have probably got the stronger bowling attack than Sandgate Redcliffe.
Yeah, they've got great to have the inclusion of Holly Furling for Western Suburbs, but West have the leading wicket taker in the competition, Ashley Sims, off spinner, who's taken probably close to 30 wickets already, which is on track for a bit of a record in the competition. So really good bowling unit, which is well supported by the likes of Grace Harris for the bat, and obviously you've got Courtney Sipple for West with the ball as well. So, as we said, two very strong sides and great way to start the semi-final doubleheader as the players take the field.
Yeah, we're seeing Sandgate Redcliffe being led on by their captain Tess Cooper, and the two batters coming on for Western Suburbs wearing 17, Grace Harris, and 25 is
Annie Wickman, the captain.
Annie Wickman, yes. Sorry, my batting list was different to the team list. So Annie Wickman coming on, who's also captaining Western Suburbs. So it'll be quite interesting to see certainly how that first over performs. As you said, Michael, been a bit of rain around Brisbane. It's dried off the last couple of days, but the humidity is is all but like rain at the moment. So how that ball, whether it'll swing around a bit in those early couple of overs, we'll get a chance to see.
Yeah, I think the key for big games and for finals is to give yourself a bit of time and to assess the conditions. Whilst some of the state and WBL players are used to playing on Allan Border Field, most of the Premier players, this is sort of a once or twice a year type experience. So, assessing the conditions and understanding, what the deck is like in the first couple of overs is really important. Give yourself some time to see what it's like. So, it is that those first few overs can be really important out of the gates, just to get your feet. Whilst it's only a T20, there's still plenty of time to catch it up, and the likes of someone like Grace Harris, if she gets going to the middle of the back end of the innings, it's going to be a big score.
Julia Kavanagh is going to open the bowling for Sandgate Redcliffe. Our umpires today, Stephen Dionysus and Nathan James, are all in ready for action. Grace Jones facing the first ball. Kavanagh left arm over the wicket.
Nice and full.
And an interesting field sort of set already as we take a look around it. More a gully than a slip, and a point, cover, mid-off. Well, there's a cover point and a cover and a mid-off. Wide mid-on, a straight, not quite a straight hit, but a deep mid-on, mid-wicket and a backward square leg. Full toss.
Full toss.
There's a fielder out there, but she'll just be bringing it back.
Over the rope for 6. Probably don't want to bowl there to Grace Harris. A full toss. Which she's put over wide mid-on. They've got the fielders back there mid-on and sort of like a cow corner, typically where they put the fielders to Grace in some of the WBL games, but she's put it over them then.
Kavanagh again, full toss, but played straight down the ground. Bit of work for the mid-on to get. Not going to get there.
I think Grace Harris knew that off the bat that was going to beat the fielder. She sort of just jogged that first one.
Busy admiring a shot. I sort of looking at the stats overnight. Grace Harris comes into the game with 36s and 77 fours.
She knows how to give it a whack. And she has a particular liking to Sandgate. I think over the last 3 or 4 years, she's scored about 400 or 500s against Sandgate. So probably going to be number 1 for Sandgate.
This time finds the fielder. Kavanagh just sort of trying to find her rhythm early and just sort of been putting there and giving a bit of batting practice for Grace Harris. But as you said before, Michael, for some of these girls, it's first time or one of the very few times they've been on this field. It could be a bit intimidating.
Captain Cooper just sort of mentioned something to Kavanagh, probably into the wicket.
But certainly Grace Harris making her intent known fairly early and getting onto that front foot and playing it down the line.
I definitely think in the power play there will be a chance, and the key is for Sandgate to take that. You don't want to give someone like Grace Harris a life, so Sandgate got to be switched on the field in this power play as Kavanagh comes in.
Fifth ball of the over, played straight back down the ground. I don't think mid-on's going to get to that either. It's 4 more.
Pretty big first over from Grace Harris and for Western Suburbs. She thinks she got 5 throwdowns then from Julia Kavanagh. Didn't get him into the wicket there, so want to bowl a bit more backward length and use what this wicket can offer in this first few overs.
It was funny as I was coming up the stairs into the commentary box, one of the Western Suburbs coaching staff was fetching a ball from outside of the ground. So I didn't have to think long and hard to work out who it was that had put it over right out of the complex totally, just in the throwdowns.
It can happen here. We've had a fair few games here in the last 3 or 4 weekends, and we've had a lot of balls on the Queensland Cricket Office roof and also the grandstand roofs. Max Bryant scored 200s here in a day a few weekends ago. Redlands and Norths exchanged a 230-run chase amongst each other, so it's been quite high scoring here. Probably the only difference was we had a Taverners final here last Sunday, and it was sort of 120 plays 110. So maybe the pressure of a big game got to some of the youngsters there, but we have been seeing some high scoring and some fireworks here at AB Field last week. As Lily Mills take bowls in second over.
Wickman gets to face her first delivery. Plays it nicely into point. Slightly different field. with a point, cover point, cover mid-on, mid-off, all in the circle.
Good spots from Mills to start off. Obviously, Sandgate would try and get through their overs to Wickman and build pressure at the other end and starve Harris of a bit of strike here. See if they can follow up that first over with 1 or 2 from Mills here. She comes into Wickman, a bit short. Just turn around the back of square leg for 1. Don't decide to come back for 2 there.
It'll be interesting to see how they go. I've seen a lot of certainly the Brisbane Heat girls here and the Fire, where they can pick up the 2s. It's a field that you either get 1, 2 or 4. Very rarely do you get a chance to run a 3.
There are, probably this side of the grandstand's probably the bigger boundary with the wicket on the eastern side of the deck. So there are a few pockets. We'll see what Harris's approach is to Mills here. They've got Beth Mooney at deep mid on there, and looks like Georgia Vole at a sort of very straight cow. Bit of the hot spots here as Mills comes in. It's a good ball there.
Yeah, it was just played for the cameras, that shot. Nice bent elbow, but yes, the traditional cow corner and mid on, right on the rope.
Bit of a challenge there. See if she wants to take those fielders on. She's going to have to hit open. It's a good single to Mooney at deep mid on there.
Yeah, coming into this match, Grace Harris 697 runs for the season.
And she hasn't played most of it, obviously, with WBL duties, but she got off to a very good start. There was about 3 or 4 weekends of T20 double headers, and Grace Harris, along with some other WBL and Fire players, definitely start for their clubs as Mills comes in.
Wickman just plays that one off her hip. It's called a wide.
It's run away pretty fast down there. Bit of work from short fine leg and gets it back in for a comeback for 2. Bit costly there. You wanted like to get a dot or a single to Wickman, and now have to close out this over.
Mills again over the wicket this time to Wickman.
Oh, that's a very nice shot.
Drives it, looks for the gap, finds the gap too. That's 4 runs.
Run away from Wickman there. It's a lovely shot there, and made Mills pay for that wide and scored a 4 off the extra ball there. So two big overs to start for West here. Sandgate will be looking to pull something back here. Will they go to Kavanagh for a second over it? Or, it looks like
Are they going to do the change?
they've gone for Shackleton, that one of the experienced fast bowlers, sort of bowls left arm meds, and also take a bit of pace off with the sort of cutters, and the keepers coming up to keep Harris in her crease. So yeah, Sandgate will be on the back foot a bit here. Two big overs from Western Suburbs, and I want to grab a wicket or 2 in this power play. Still the same sort of fear with the mid on and straightish sort of cow corner to Harris. Basically challenge her to take on that leg side, and if she doesn't get a hold of it, there should be a catch out there.
Left arm over the wicket to Harris, just plays it quietly into the covers.
Probably got into that wicket straight away, which Kavanagh didn't quite get that first over, and make Harris go and reach for it and get it.
Shackleton again coming in. Again, Grace Harris. So the intimidatory factor of Grace Harris would be pretty large to girls at this level. Different story in the WBBL and the Fire games at an interstate level, but certainly for some of these club girls that are sort of making their way into the scene, it would be like a bit in the club cricket bowling to Chris Lynn in the men's competition.
Very true. Dropped short. Probably got away with one there, Shackleton. No, very true. Like I said, Grace has a magnificent record playing for Western Suburbs. Won a Kath Smith medal many years ago, and always has featured either second or third up in that. And very dangerous and hits a very large ball along with her sister.
Shackleton again.
Ooh, inside
French
edge,
cuts
yeah.
it.
It's been a good over so far from Shackleton. She's asked a lot of questions of Harris, but Yeah, as I said earlier, there's probably a few bad memories for Sandgate bowling to Harris, so they'd love to right that ship today, because she has come up big in a few finals against them. So love to get her early in the piece and have a look at the rest of the lineup. Shackleton comes in or bowl.
Grace Harris just plays that along the cut. It is a magnificent outfield. We've already seen the ball roll fairly well, so the players are going to get full value for their shots.
Yeah, there are probably not many excuses in the field and outfield today. It looks to be a good track, and if you get behind it, you should get a pretty good roll or a bounce. So, it's a great opportunity to throw yourself around in the field, and on such a lovely facility. See if Shackleton can close out this over. It's been a good one so far. Nice and full.
She does. Just the 3 runs coming off that over gets the score up to none for 26 off the first 3 overs. And just the 3 runs shows that it was quite tight. They were going for over 10 and over in the first 2.
They pulled it back nicely there. Mills will be keen to follow it up if they can go 2 overs, build a bit of pressure as you get to the back end of that 6-over power play. A couple of good overs. We'll be surprised if the pressure builds, and you think about 5th and 6th over, whether they have to take some risks to maximise that power play. But it's probably a really big over for Mills, starting to Harris.
She's coming round the wicket to the right-hander, goes down, she drives it straight down on it. Beth Mooney does get across to it just for the single.
She's very straight there, down there, mid-on, Mooney. They've probably put their most senior or best catchers in the hot spots, with Mooney involved, sort of patrolling the leg side boundary. Hoping that if the catch comes their way, they'll take the big chance.
Mill going back to over the wicket to Annie Wickman. Takes that off a hip, and gets a single as the more backward square leg comes round to a short fine leg to do that fielding. Leg by.
I'm sure Sandgate would have loved that to have been a dot. They got Harris off strike first ball, and Wickman's done her job and got Harris straight back on strike. So Harris came down with a fair bit of intent for that first ball. See if she has that same mode and might go a bit aerial here.
Wickman around the wicket to Harris. Goes off the back foot.
Ooh, was that don't know if that was a chance, that one. Is it a replay? Just get a bit of bat on this. The keeper Mayer is sort of... Oh yeah, she's got an edge to that. That's did go a fair way as Mills comes in.
It does beat point.
Just a bit, yeah. Took a fair chunk of I think Kavanagh there at backward point.
But yeah, difficult catch for me because the ball was hit so late by Harris, and so there wasn't much chance to readjust the gloves. It was sort of just going straight, and did, as you said, deviated a fair bit into the gloves.
They're tough, those up to the stumps, the off spinners, spinning back towards leg and then taking the outside edge. A lot of keepers, myself included, prefer the leg spinner or the one who takes it away as Mills comes in. It's a good single from Wickman there. Put pressure on the fielder. But yeah, that was... we talked about there being a chance in the first 6, and there was one. There's one of those ones, if they stick, they're great catches for the keeping fraternity.
Yeah, you can't be too harsh on them for missing those chances.
Well, that's a
full toss over the shoulder. That will be a no ball, and it'll go for 4 as well.
I think that was a sort of quicker ball which sort of slipped out a bit there. It went pretty fast from Mills, and a head high no ball.
There's a challenge too for the finger spinners with this humidity and the green grass to get the grip on a brand new white ball as well.
A free hit here for Harris. We might be in danger here, Billy, at deep cow corner, so I think it's probably coming this way.
See what Mills does. He comes around the wicket to Harris, who has a big swing. It does go towards us, and it's going to go over the rope. 6 to Harris. Wouldn't say she got all of that, but enough to get over the boundary there. So after the solid over from Shackleton, another sort of costly one from Sandgate, and put them a bit on the back foot, back to that 10 and over mark here. None for 41. off those 4 overs. Harris herself moves up to 30, and Wickman just nicely plodding along, giving the strike predominantly to Harris on 6. Come back to a more traditional field. As we can see, Shackleton bowl her second over with a cap on, coming left arm over the wicket to the right-handed Wickman.
Love another 2 or 3 run over here to try and bounce back as Shackleton comes in. Good start.
Right up into the block hole. One of the challenges I sort of see across a lot of T20 cricket at the moment is that the dearth of the Yorker delivery. The men, we've just watched a bit of Big Bash. The men don't tend to bowl it a lot. You see heaps of it in the Test matches, but you just don't see it in the T20s.
Shackleton again, another good spot. Nice and full, bit of shape into the right-hander, and good start for the over here. No, it is. I guess the sort of ramps and the sort of flicks and things like that have maybe taken away the appeal of the Yorker, but I still think when executed well, which does take a lot of skill, it's a tough ball to play in any format. Oh, this could be something here.
Whitman pretty keen to get the single. Grace Harris is just happy to do the 4s and 6s.
Yeah, don't want to run out Grace Harris from a West point of view. But I think when Wickman's on strike, the infield needs to be looking for that sort of single and trying to see if they can take a chance in the field and catch someone a bit asleep from the batting point of view. Shackleton comes in.
Wickman drives straight down to the vacant space past the mid-on, mid-off, who are inside the circle for 4 runs. It's a pretty safe shot for her. Players are up in the circle.
Nope, she's playing a very good sort of partner role here, Wickman. She's tried to get off strike, early in overs, but if not, she also put the bad ball away with a cover drive a few overs ago off Mills and a nice 4 there from off Shackleton. So playing a good opening partnership here for Western Suburbs.
And again goes high. Well. There's a cow corner fielder out there, but she's not going to get to it either.
Good bit
in fact, escorts it over the rope in the end.
Good bit of work though to put the dive in and chase that one down. So turned in, despite a good start with a couple of dot balls, Wickman's opened the shoulders and got a few away here. Trying to see if they can close out. No, I think Harris will want strike for the next over. So she
bit ambitious on those singles too, though. The fielder's fairly close there at square leg and backward square leg. Ends the over out. Those 2 4s on balls 4 and 5. Pretty costly for Sandgate Redcliffe again. 5 overs at the turn, none for 49.
Down to that last over of the power play here. Harris on strike. Looks like they're going to, I think that's Meg Medham for Sandgate. Young, quick. Bowls rather sharp. I think she's about 17 years of age. This will be interesting to see how she goes up against Grace Harris. So Grace is in a bit. Last over of the power play. I think she'll be wanting to make it count. So there could be another opportunity or chance for Sandgate if they bowl in the right spots here. Medham comes in. Good start there.
Yep, good pace in the run up and continues through in the delivery as well. Just the 2 out on the rope at pretty well a straight hit and a wide mid wicket, and everyone else on the circle.
Interesting to see if she gives Harris any width here, whether Harris might look to go over or through the covers here.
She goes along the carpet, and the fielder really had no chance. She was getting there, but it just was too quick for her.
Gave her that bit of width, and Grace pounced on that one. Lovely cover driver along the deck there.
A fair bit of pressure that Harris puts, because the bowlers themselves are wanting to keep away from the pads, wanting to keep away from straying onto the leg stump to be put over the leg side.
See how she comes back here, Medham.
And again, same shot.
A bit more width there and made her pay. I'd love to see a replay of that one. That's back-to-back cover drives from Harris, and looking in serious touch here. I said that with the field up on the offside, yeah, can't give her that width, and she's made Medham pay there.
Yeah, I had to check first to make sure it wasn't the same shot that we were seeing. We were watching the replay, but they both played exactly the same way.
Now Mooney talking to Medham, and wouldn't be surprised if she was sort of throwing something up around, maybe a bit of pace off, or just give us some sort of variation. Don't want to sort of react and go straight to like a middle to leg line, because whilst they've got the fielders out here and the catching spots, they don't have a fine leg, and it's really only backward square near the umpire. So if she strays on the pads, Harris just has to get a little tickle on it and it'll run away for 4. So
let him in again.
Nice and full. It's a bit of the Yorker's still a bit tough to get away, so that might have been the go-to. Just cram it up there.
And again, probably the right delivery to play, because yes, anything with that width is going to be punished through the covers by the looks of it, and short will go out through the leg side. So a fair bit of pressure on Medham just to keep the scoring rate down. 2 fours in this over so far. On the 5th delivery, goes a full toss.
And she's got a lot.
And over the rope. Well over the rope for 6. In that striving just to be fuller.
Yep.
Just overcorrects.
To the earlier point we were talking about the Yorks, I think that's probably where we have a replay here. Is just errs a bit on the full side and sort of knee-high full toss, and Harris makes the most of it. But that's probably where the Yorker's sort of gone away. Is like if you do miss your spot, it is that low full toss, and probably with the bigger bats and strength of all players, that people can put that one away a bit better these days as Medham comes in. Probably could have been a single there.
I think she's just running the 4s and 6s, or not running the 4s and 6s.
It was a sixth ball the over. Probably heads up play would have been to get a single there. Now I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but West have pulled in a pretty good drink runner for today, in former Western Suburbs, Brisbane Heat and Queensland Fire captain in Kirby Short. Handy inclusion for semi-final day and grand final weekend. She has a bit of fun as she runs off there. Won a few premierships for Western Suburbs in a time, and enjoying retirement.
Yes,
but still coming.
We probably missed her, I think, in the WBBL. Just that little bit of captaincy experience. Not that Jess Jonathan did a bad job, but just in that last game, in that last semi-final. Yeah, it was just that cool head in the dressing room.
Yeah, but when you look at it, it was actually absolutely great run from the Heat. I think every commentator on Channel 7, put him as 5th or 6th in the pre-season. It was like, no chance. After a couple of sort of losses in the sort of early part of the competition, got on an absolutely great run. I think it was like 7 in a row.
7 in a row, yeah. Like that. Well, to have lost Beth Mooney, Sammy Jo Johnson and Kirby Short, and to get ourselves to the semi-final, outstanding job.
Gemma Barsby moved to the Scorchers, so
just that loss of experience that you couldn't cover with talent and ability.
But some great performances from the squad.
I'm looking forward to seeing them next season. They'll be far better for the experience.
Straight down leg side. New bowler as the power plays ended in the 7th over. Starts with the wide to Wickman. But yeah, no, the likes of Laura Kimmins, starring. Georgia Vole was a big stand up as a youngster, but also just from a bowling unit, everyone sort of stepped up and sort of filled some of those gaps. So great to get those opportunities, and they said it'd be better for it in future tournaments.
Olivia Roach, full toss down the leg side again. Second wide called. I'll get a come back for 2 as well. Yeah, it was a season where previous years you'll go, well, Beth Mooney will score 400 and odd runs for us, and we'll get through on the strength of her and Jess Jonathan's batting. But this year was a full team effort. No one was the superstar with the bat or ball. They all contributed at different times to get themselves through.
She missed out there. She
back into that one.
got a piece of that, Wickman. She's probably she's hitting herself a bit. She didn't put that one through the gap there.
About 6 wheat bix put into that shot.
Probably cover point's got a bruise on the shin or thigh there. They got behind that one, but not the greatest start to the over here. Hope you try and pull it back for Sandgate's point of view. Well,
comes in off the pad, a big appeal, more in hope than anything.
A little inside edge on that one. Two noises there, so that's probably the length they want to be. Get them playing straight here. Can't be two lengths and bowling in short with a fair few players in the ring here. So
Wickman on 14 off 15 deliveries. Olivia Roach with that little skip at the start of a run comes in. Again, gets it past the cover point this time. It might go for 4 runs. And
might be a little teaser. It was a good effort, I think, by Medham chasing it from mid-off. Put in some late meters there, but no, so the fast outfield, it's run away here.
Just hit the start of the downward slope on this field. It makes it a bit harder for the fielder, because for a while I think they're actually catching it, and then it hits that downhill slope on the outfield. And
nothing worse than seeing the ball, move away faster than you're chasing it.
Roach again, right arm over the wicket. Wickman plays that down to mid-off, fairly firmly though, no run.
So I think if in the West planning meeting they would have said, we'd love to be none for 60 or so after the power play, and they've probably ticked that box. So in a position to launch, as we see 2 fielders go out for this last 2 balls, definitely trying to starve Harris of the strike here, probably trying to get a single to Wickman here.
Roach again.
And they've done that. So now the probably challenge would be whether Grace wants to go big or whether she wants to get a single and get on strike for the first ball the next over. Can be a bit risky, that sort of bowling, trying to bowl to the other batter and stay away from the danger or the set batter, because all it takes is for that batter to play some nice shots like Wickman has been doing, and then you've got both ends sort of going and set. So if they're looking to do that, they'll have to make sure this ball counts to Harris and close out with the dot.
4 players now out on the rope for Grace Harris, square leg, mid wicket and mid on.
Good close there from Roach.
And a nice finish to her over after starting with those couple of wides. She's got her accuracy back. None for 73 after 7 overs. Western Suburbs being sent in after Sandgate Redcliffe won the toss at the start of today's play in the first of the 2 semi-finals here at Allan Border Field.
Another change of bowler. It looks like Georgia Vol, right arm off spin, coming on from the northern end, the brothers rugby end. Didn't in the heat side with plenty of spinners and options, didn't bowl much during the WBL, but bowls very regularly for Sandgate when she's playing at Premier level. And I know on the way up when she was first playing for Ipswich, bowled plenty of overs. So I think she'll be keen to insert herself in the game here.
Half a dozen steps. Terrible delivery, but gets away with it.
Yeah, almost. If it had been a regulation mid-wicket, it might have gone straight to him. But
I think it just slow off the wicket was what.
Yeah.
Wickman was just sort of standing there waiting for the delivery to actually get to her.
Yeah, I don't think she was expecting Georgia Vol to bowl one halfway down the deck first up, and kind of got a bit surprised by that. But I think if she bowls that ball to Grace Harris, we might be picking it out of the Matt Hayden stand. She'll want to be on the mark to Harris here. Pretty good matchup here. Both power hitters and right arm off spinners in Vol and Harris here, so they'll want to go head to head here.
Vol again, bit short. There's fielder out there. It's going to bounce before it gets to her. Just a single, more a controlled pull than a smash pull.
Like they had in the power play, they want to make sure they've got got their best fielders in the hot spots for Harris, because I think if a chance comes, it's going to come hard and hot from Harris.
Wickman faces up to Vol again, a bit short, gets pulled around and
bit of work at deep backward square. It is the longer side on that western side, so if you are going to err on the side of some short stuff, maybe on this side with a bit bigger boundary, but you still just like them to play to that long side.
This time short again. That fielder's not going to get that. That's over the rope. Georgia Vol having a bit of a challenge in just getting a length right. It's sort of just dragging it down.
What a bit, was that 50 and a 50 for Harris? 27 balls, yep. 51.
That's her 6 4 and 3 6s in that 50 as well.
Worrying signs for Sandgate. A sort of set Grace Harris. It's going to take some removing, and they have gone through a fair few bowling options, and no one's really been able to get sort of back-to-back overs against them.
And this has been the challenge, I think, for Sandgate Redcliffe across the season, that their bowling's just not quite their strength. And when you're bowling to a side whose batting is their strength.
Yeah, we'll see. See if Vol can bounce back. She had some words from Beth Mooney there. Spots there, a bit of an edge there, but no one's at backward point there. It looks like it's going to run away.
Just gets it chase. Inside the rope.
Good chase.
Very good fielding. I'll come back for 3. But did save the single, because I had 4 written on that one myself as well. I thought it was going to roll away.
That's the spot and the shot you want Grace Harris to play. Get him to sort of cut and cover drive against the spin of the off spinner. So good spots there from Vol. Looks like they're going again, trying to see if Wickman will take a single late in the over.
Last ball in the over, just plays it back down the wicket. The end of the over, 12 runs coming off that first Georgia Vol over. Score sits at none for 85 off 8 overs. And a nice little start there. Grace Harris on 54, Wickman on 21. We're going to continue another bowling change here for Sandgate Redcliffe. Julie Kavanagh bowled her first over, comes back on to have her second over to Grace Harris. On this quite overcast and humid morning here at AB Field. Work out where they're going to put the fielders. They've picked the 4 fielders for the rope first and then setting the fields. Kirsten Pike joins me. Kirsten, good morning. Thanks for being part of our commentary this morning, and how have you seen it so far?
Yeah, it's been a great start here by the West girls. Being a former Sandgate player myself, I don't really like it too much, seeing Gracie out there belting them and just struggling to find our lengths, but it looks like it's a pretty good deck.
She smashes that one down the ground just for a single. Gets the score up to 87. They could probably do with your little fast opening spell.
That's very kind of you to call me faster.
Kavanagh again, left arm around the wicket, over the wicket, sorry. Wickman back in the crease, just puts it down to the fielder deep mid-off for a single.
It's a really good area there too. I think if she can bowl 6 in that little area, and then probably to both batters as well. To Harris, it's a good area. You've got your fielders back, so you've got coverage, and you can't do too much damage at that length.
No, they'd be probably happy to give up just a single a ball than what they have been doing so far. Harris gets it through the hands, I think, of square leg. She was probably never a chance to catch it because it was hit with a fair bit of power, but 4 runs.
It did go quick, didn't it? It looked like it was almost at catching height, but you can't really see if we can get a replay and try and pick it up It is a game, though, T20 cricket, where you do need to take your chances. So even if it is a half chance, and we saw one earlier that got put down and caught behind, you really need to take them.
Kavanagh again coming over the wicket to Harris. Plays that straight down the ground, just wide of the stumps, just for a single. Wickman was looking for a second, but at this stage, Grace is just happy to pick up a single on a 4 and a 6.
Makes it look simple,
Yes.
doesn't she, out there? Wickman's playing a really good role here as well, and just rotating the strike and hitting the occasional boundary, but just playing a real good partnership hand.
Plays that one wide of square leg. May again, it hits the slope. It won't be pulled back in 4 more runs. Part of the excellent drainage here at AB Field is the fact that it does start to slope inside the rope.
Yeah, certainly value for shots here, isn't it? It's running, as you were saying earlier, it's very, very humid, and it just seems to be running, and particularly after a week of rain, it's held up pretty well, hasn't it?
Yeah. Kavanagh again, last delivery of her second over. Whitman keeps that one out for no run. 97 runs, just 3 runs short of their 100. 9 overs down, so going at just over 10 and over. And could well set a target of in excess of 200.
Yeah, certainly at this rate. You just look at that last over and looking at the 11414 dot. I think if you can just try and minimise those 4 balls and bowling some good errors, when they get it right, they get it right, and it's a good pill. But just giving those 2 easy 4 balls that they're just being able to get away, and in order to create some kind of pressure and try and produce a wicket, they're doing it fairly easily here, the West girls.
Harris is on strike to Vol. Vol bowling her second over. Just plays that quietly into mid-wicket. Bit of a sigh in the crowd going, oh, it's just a block.
She's got lots of coverage here on the onside.
Harris comes down, puts that one high over the head. You can't feel them when you're inside the rope. And picks up another 6 on her way. That's her 5th of the innings. Pretty effortless in the shot making as well. See what Vol can do in her comeback delivery. Puts that one through the gap nicely. Playing a bit with these fielders and bowlers.
Yeah, just kind of overcorrected there on the length and the line, and just too far outside the off stump. She's got Grace, the fielder's out here to Grace. You've got a backward square, cow corner, and a long on. So that's where her protection is, so she probably just needs to straighten up that line a little bit.
Well, a little bit quicker, gets it over the hands of mid-wicket. A fair bit of work for the fielders to come around on the rope. They do keep it in. They've taken 2 and come back for 3. A good bit of running, because it is a challenge sometimes to get 3 on this field.
Yeah, very well run. I think the tap on the boundary and just bought them a little bit of time to get back for the 3rd.
Vol this time to Wickman. Gets a dot ball. Should be hoping to finish with the dot ball in this over as well. Already gone for 13. Plays that one back through the huge space there behind point. And the fielder won't have a chance of getting that. Finishes with 417 off that over.
110 after 10 overs. That's a very, very strong start. 114, I should correct that, at 12 runs.
Well, they turn at that halfway mark at 114. I've yet to work out in T20 where, like we know in the 50 over spell at 35, is roughly that mark that you can nearly double the score to get your final score at 50. In T20, I still think it's around that 14 over mark. So, but they're going at well over 11 and over at the moment.
You almost say that, don't you? And you think, well, can they actually go any quicker? Like,
Yeah.
you'd say that when they're going at, it might be 7 runs and over, but when you're flying at 12, it's hard to accelerate too much, or maybe that's a scary thought of thinking of what they could accelerate to.
They've still
perhaps.
got the wickets in the shed as well, and a little bit of batting to come. We see the start of the 11th over. Harris on facing, finds the fielder rarely. And Julia Kavanagh bowling her third over, having a bit of a cricket lesson at the moment on how to bowl to a couple of batters set in form.
Yeah, I don't mind that last ball. That length was quite good.
Steps wide this time. Plays that to Beth Mooney, who's patrolling a fair bit of the point boundary.
I think as a bowler in this game, you look at where your fielders are and think, well, that's where my errors are going to be. So you can kind of drop it that little bit short because you've got the protection out here on the point boundary. Otherwise, you've got to be pretty full because your protection's straight back.
Kavanagh this time to Wickman. Plays that down the ground. Fair bit of protection for her down there, but that's okay. It's just a single, and that's a good outcome at the moment. Do you find that you have to, as a bowler, be bowling defensively or aggressively? What's the challenge that you have? Because part of you doesn't want to be hit, but part of you knows that you've got to get these batters out.
Yeah, look, I think in this situation you're probably bowling defensively, but that's not a bad outcome. If you're getting run a ball, I think that's a good outcome in this form of the game.
Harris goes down, just one bounce to the mid-on coming in off the rope.
And I think that then leads to building some pressure as well. So this over to my mind has been quite good. Dot first up and then 3 singles and bowling good areas and just bowling to her field. So if she can close this over out, I think that's a real win for the Sandgate.
Kavanagh this time, Wickman plays that one wide of a mid-wicket for 4 runs, just along the ground. No hurriness in the shot, just played it off the pads nicely.
Yeah, just bowls at that pace, I think, that you can just lean on it. Quick outfield. The field is backward of square there as well, so that just basically dissected the 2 fielders there. One at a squarish mid-wicket and someone just backward of square leg.
Kavanagh in again. Wickman plays that one out through the covers. Protection in Mooney comes in. Keeps that one down to a single. At least one positive that Sandgate Redcliffe can take out of it is that it's going to be easier for them to bat.
Yeah.
That there's not a lot of terrors in the wicket. The ball didn't swing a whole lot. Though it'd be interesting to see how someone like Holly Furling goes.
Yeah, surprising, isn't it? Because it is so muggy that it usually does something here in the morning, and a slight breeze out there as well. So usually it nips around a little bit early on and then flattens out throughout the day. But maybe it was just that seam wasn't up or something like that, or just wasn't getting too much movement, or didn't look to be getting too much movement.
No.
It doesn't look like there's anything off the deck as well. So Birdie and the team here have done another fantastic job of batter's paradise.
Oh,
It's like the Bruce Highway out there,
yeah.
isn't it?
Well, it's one of my favourite grounds across Australia, actually, to be watching games of cricket. It's probably not necessarily good for the bowlers, but certainly for the batters and spectators, it's a lovely field.
There usually is a little bit, or you can get a little bit something to bite occasionally, but it's certainly a batter's paradise out there. But it is one of, I think it's one of the most amazing grounds in the world. I mean, that's a big call, but certainly for me to see it, and this is one of my favourite grounds, and you can go play at some of the bigger venues, but there's something nice about the boutique grounds in Australia.
Bit of pace means that she can play it off her pads. Wickman just for a single though, out to backward square leg. Young Meg Madam certainly pretty quick going in the run up.
Yeah, good wheels.
I think as she grows and develops her game, I think she'll become quite quick. That one will go easily down through no fine leg for 4 runs. Grace Harris moves herself up to 79 off 40 deliveries.
Yeah, she looks quite young. How old is Mo
I
Madden?
believe she's 17.
17. Yeah, when she gets a little bit stronger, she'll be able to. She's kind of in her delivery stride. If you, that's better there. Straight through and over on that back leg and just corrected the line.
But certainly she's very upright and everything going in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously key. If you can get everything moving in the right direction. That one before, she just looked like she fell off it a little bit. And that's probably just from being a bit young and a bit raw.
Oh, edges that one through the huge vacant gap between keeper and point. Just all going the way of West at the moment. She swung everything out at the batter. Oh, not that far away from the keeper in the end.
No, I'm going to be tough and say I think that was that's another chance. That's
It went
gone
quick,
down.
but it was still at a catchable height.
She looks like she's standing fairly close as well.
Let him in again.
It's well bowled.
Nice bit of fielding off her own bowling. In the backwash of Grace Harris, Wickman's got herself up to 41 off only 31 deliveries. So she's going at a pretty fair clip herself. Full toss outside. Goes wide. There is a fielder coming in off the rope. And a slip by Wickman, and when she went to turn, just keeps it to the single. It's the end of the over, 133 for the loss of no wickets off 12 overs.
What is the highest score that's been in these?
I don't know. There's a bit of
T20.
homework for me.
Yeah.
Where's Rick Finlay? Who's the ABC? I guess
Yeah.
he's having his night off at the morning off, being down at there. Not
Before he
quite sure.
starts again.
Certainly for the men's games that we tend to see here a bit, even in the 50 over matches, they struggle a bit to be this far in after 12 overs. So the girls have gone quite well.
And all low risk cricket as well. What they've just done well is put away the bad ball.
Yeah.
They haven't taken too many chances. No big rush shots. It's just making the most of that error ball and hitting them for 4, hitting them through the gap, and that's what they've done really, really well.
Olivia Roach going to bowl her second over. Annie Wickman on strike. Guides that one off at pads round. Fair bit of work for square legs. Not going to get there even though she's on the rope. Again, that getting full value for your shots. And the carnage continues.
Yeah, I think when they get off at the drinks break, it's almost just, you just got to get through this bowling innings, don't you? And no one's being able to produce any form of pressure with the ball.
Straight to point for no run. But again, that's that positive that Sandgate Redcliffe can take out of it, that no risk cricket can still give you this because you just sit and wait for those bad balls. They will come a couple of times in an over at this level. But it is also runs in the bank for Western Suburbs. Roach again to Wickman.
A good dot there, and think what we're seeing is that first ball was just a loose one, hit it for 4, 2 good dots. So now, if you get a 4 early on from a batter, the pressure's really back on the bowler to try and close out the over. So for here, Rhodes should really just be looking, how can we close this out, and what have I got to do to minimise the damage in this over?
Nice shot there. That was straight out of the textbook. She'll be looking for a copy of that on her resume.
I think that's her 50 as well.
It comes up, nice bit of crowd in here too. Coming off the applause for that half century, coming up off 37 deliveries. It's her 10th 4 of the innings.
And really just crept up, hasn't she?
Yeah.
I think last time when I looked, and she was probably more run a ball and at 30. So the last 20's come in very quick succession. And a beautiful shot there too, just lent on her, as you said.
Plays this one out through mid-wicket just for a single. Last delivery in Roach's over to Grace Harris this time. Harris on 80 off 40 deliveries. Wins 51 off 38. Harris just leans forward. Another chance offered there. And again, you've probably got to take these chances.
Oh, just get a hand to that too. It's tough in the follow through to get down. She's done well.
Because again, you're immediately not thinking about getting down to take the catch, and then you suddenly realize, oh, it's coming back to me and it's catchable. But in the end, at the moment, Sandgate Redcliffe need to take hold of those because they're not getting too many regulation chances. See another change here with young Lily Mills coming back with her little off spinners. Big full toss, that will be off for 4 and will be a no ball as well for being chest high. Grace Harris gets another free hit. The previous free hit she put for 6 as well as putting the no ball away for 4. Mills again just struggling, getting a bit of grip on this white ball with the finger spin.
I wonder if it is a little bit slippery out there.
It's changing around the world. I'm not sure you could. I guess maybe you can change to go around the wicket on a free hit. Just got to move the fielders.
That's gone. That's
gone for 6. They'll be pulling that one. I'm not sure where you parked your car. It's on the roof. You can see it just rolling down into the gutter of the Queensland Cricket office. They need to have it set up like a pinball machine up there, so then it just rolls down another tube and you can pick it up off the ground rather than climb up on the roof to get it. But they'll have a bit of a spell for a moment while they find someone to go up on the roof to get it. Kirby Short runs the drinks back out to the 2 batters. And they're not going to wait for the ball to come back. The umpires have just gone to a box of replacement balls. Something that's marked 13 overs and 2 deliveries. Grace Harris making them pay with that free hit up on for a 6. She gets herself up to 91.
It's like Kenny Dixon there. Look like.
Yeah, might be right. Get a close enough look.
Sandgate stalwart?
Yes.
It is. Looking good on the on the screen. I'll let him know later. Comes across well.
Lily Mills about to bowl her second legal delivery of the over. Grace Harris goes down the wicket. Can't beat cover. She's now starting to be a little bit more aggressive. She's got to 91 without being overly a bully as such to the bowling. Drags that one out through square leg for a single.
Mills looks like she's just bowling that a little bit quicker as well.
The Sandgate Redcliffe captain Tess Cooper's got a fair bit of work to do to see what she can do in these remaining 6 and a bit overs of this innings to halt the run rate. Or not so much halt it, I think just slow it down. I'm sure you're going to halt it. Well, outside of taking a lot of wickets.
Yeah, I think it's almost damage control at this point. 155, that's a huge total after 13.
When drives that one down, Mooney comes in off the rope just for a single.
I tell you one thing, these batters won't be tired. They haven't run too many singles.
No, they haven't run singles. Their shoulders might be a bit sore. They've been doing a bit of swinging.
A bit of swinging.
But yeah, not a lot of puffing. Harris faces up to Mills.
It's well bowled too.
So bit of a mixture of deliveries. We've seen that in the 3 overs from young Lily Mills. That she bowled some very good deliveries, but been a couple of 4 and 6 balls in there as well. 3 overs, none for 36, and 156 for no wickets off 14 overs. So if I was to do the doubling, that would be 300. I'm not sure they're going to get to 300. I don't think they're going to double their current rate.
It's going to be a very big score.
Move the field around and try and work out where best to have their 4 on the rope. Mooney comes up, square leg goes back. Car corner on the rope, mid on and mid off on the rope as well. See Lauren Shackleton. Bowling to Wickman, who pulls a full ball out for 6, hits the rope, hits the fence with a thud. Doesn't get the free hit rule. It was fairly full, as we see on the replay.
So it was coming down.
Yeah, it might have been just below waist height. We'll see the replay again where she connects it. Yeah,
right in the hitting zone. Oh.
A bit of mercy from the umpires there, saying enough's enough. There's 4 runs to back it up. Nothing like that previous 6, the sound of a ball thudding into a picket fence on the full. Wickman gets herself up to 62. She's quickly moving along. Well stopped by the covers there. There was a fair bit of pace in that one. She will be feeling that in her hands later on this afternoon. Just 2 runs.
Yeah, very well stopped. That was another 4. Well done there by Tessie.
Change the field. Beth Mooney at point goes back to the rope. Mid on comes up. Skews off the side of the edge into the gap. It's just going all the batter's way at the moment.
I like that though. I feel like we haven't seen too many change-ups today, and that was a obvious change of pace there as well, and just sucked the batter into a false shot. So good thinking there by Kavanagh.
Harris faces Kavanagh this time. That one goes over the other fence. The mower man gets off his mower luckily rather than mows over the top of it.
The key was, can he throw it back?
It's a fair throw to get it. He's done well. He's got it
Done
over
well.
both fences.
Big arm, sign him up. Who got that on the tractor?
Oh, that must have one of the Bulls boys up there mowing.
Very good arm. Oh, hit him.
Big dive at the end, but misses the stumps. We see the men here tomorrow morning. They've got their T20 final ahead of the girls' T20 final tomorrow.
Who's playing for the men?
I know Toomble's one of the sides. I haven't checked up. You've got me on that one. I'll do that. So Chris Lynn will be here with Toombul.
Is he able to play?
Well, I'm not sure on
bubble?
how this bubble rule works, because I know the Heat don't play for a while.
They're
So
back on the 23rd.
yeah, they can sort of come in and out. After the last game of the Heat, you'd be trying to get as many of those boys playing some cricket.
Yeah, well, it's a big break, isn't it? You look at when their last game was during the week and to the 23rd. It's a long time for no cricket.
Grace Harris pulls Georgia Vol out. Fielder out there, but that brings up her century and the crowd go quite wild, as they should. 50 balls for 100 for Grace Harris. 9 fours and 7 sixes. She raises her bat as she should. She's had a higher score this year of 162.
I saw that. I saw the highlights package in it. I think that was against Sandgate too, wasn't it?
I'm not
Was
sure.
it against Sandgate? Or maybe it might not have been.
There's a wide to Wickman. Yeah, they're not pushing for the quick second. They're getting them in just 4s and 6s at the moment, the girls.
I think they prefer the multiples.
Yeah.
Single off the last ball, usually that's what they'll do, and retain the strike.
Vol to Harris. Harris gives it everything there. The fielders aren't going to get that, not unless you're about 13 foot tall on the rope. And another 6 into the book, 8 sixes. This innings alone, as I said earlier today, her season's been pretty amazing. With 1 century, 6 50s. She'd hit 30 sixes and 77 fours in the season, so it tells you there's not a lot of actual running. Comes down
Shot.
again, puts everything behind that, another 6.
That's a lovely shot.
This is just a masterclass.
Who'd want to be a bowler, hey?
Not today.
It's a tough game.
Well, the margin of error is more set up for the batters. Sometimes we often say this game's more for batters than
Oh,
bowlers.
it's designed for batters, isn't it? Spoken like a true bowler.
Gets everything to fielder out there. She doesn't catch it, unfortunately. She got close, but just not able to get far enough across, and it's 4 runs. We'll see that on replay. That just pulled it around and watched it, and just not able to get there at the last minute. I think that's Olivia Roach out there. Bowl again. This time goes along the ground, Harris, just for a single. And like a true batter, keeps the strike.
Yeah.
But at 117, I guess you're allowed to do that. 196 for the loss of no wickets. I need to be doing some homework because I need to be finding out the record opening partnership.
Yeah. Well, surely
as
this
well.
would be it.
Well,
I don't.
I'd be guessing that it would be the case. And in all forms of T20, both women and men, there wouldn't be too many opening partnerships up at this level. And to bring it off in a semi-final, I was going to say it's going to set up for a nice final tomorrow. That's assuming at the moment Sandgate Redcliffe don't reel it in, and if Sandgate Redcliffe do reel it in, well then it's going to be a pretty impressive chase.
It'd be a solid chase. I guess the good thing is that you go out there, you know exactly what you need to do, so it's not like you...
Yeah.
Often you can fumble around on a small chase and get yourself into a bit of a pickle, but out there it's... You really need to commit to it.
Roach to Mooney, and Mooney goes over the top again, clears that second. Mower man's out there. I hope his brakes are good. No, he does stop his mower in time. Well, the key really for Sandgate Redcliffe is going to be in their batting will be what Beth Mooney can do. She needs to pull out a Grace Harris type innings herself.
Yeah, she does. I think, but you look at some of the other players, Vol and Tessie have been batting well as well. Some of their partnerships at the top of the order and on the recent couple of games have been quite good. So they've got a couple of power hitters as well, and probably need someone just to play that Wickman role as well, who's just there and kind of accumulating and still scoring quite freely, but just to support the big hitters out there.
Six has brought the 200 up as well. First ball of the 17th over. Bit of a change to the field. Brings square leg in, putting mid off back. Fortunately, at the moment, you can't put them beyond the rope.
Yeah, we need the redevelopment to happen, so
Yes.
extend that boundary back a little bit, and then they might be within luck.
Can't beat point. The challenge for the bowlers is where to put it to Grace Harris. And probably that last delivery is a bit of a thing, I think, if they're sort of a bit wide on the outside of the off stump. Hasn't been as productive with her cut shots as what she's been with her slogs and drives. Roach comes in, Harris 2 steps down the wicket, skies it high, Cover's getting back for it and doesn't get it, unfortunately. Just kept going away from her. She didn't get herself in a good position in the first place.
No, and just kind of lost her footing, or maybe it was swirling around. It went high. Would have been a bit of spin on the ball as well.
Would have been a fair bit of nerves as well.
Yeah.
Under those sky ones.
It often happens when you got too much time to think about it. They're
Yeah.
the ones you drop.
Roach comes into Harris this time. It goes high again, but again over that second fence.
I'll tell you what, that hurts, doesn't it? As a bowler, you've gone in, you've done the hard yards that ball before, set up Harris, and I thought that was really well done because you could see that Harris was looking to go over cover. The ball wasn't really there and really had to try and manipulate it. And then that next ball gets pogoed onto the top oval.
And that's a hard one. That sky one is too, because you've got not just the pressure of trying to catch it. You know, I've got to catch this because it's Grace Harris at 125. If I don't catch this one, she could well make us pay. So you get that extra pressure in the catch or trying to take it. Doesn't help the bowler though.
No.
Caresses that one fairly firmly down to mid-off for a single. Score goes up to 211. Harris to 132. Wickman in the slipstream at 66.
I actually don't mind that plan from Roach. She could almost come around the wicket as well, and
it's a nice delivery to Wickman to end the over. 15 off that over. Score none for 211 off 17 overs. And you're right, Sandgate Redcliffe will know exactly what they've got to do, and that's pretty well 11 and over.
yeah.
which is just 3 fours. So you've just got to get 3 fours off 3 balls every over, and you're
It's a
right.
simple game, isn't
Yeah.
it? Simple. Ball coming in here for her 4th. She'll be on for 49. We would always say you'd almost raise your bat for your 50. You raise the ball.
Well, I'm not sure that you'd be raising the ball, hiding the ball, hiding yourself. Pretty happy to raise the ball if she got the 5 wickets in the over.
Yeah.
That's the bowler's century, isn't it? The 5 wickets.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Ball can come round the wicket to Grace Harris on 132. Gets that one, doesn't quite get a pass point, but they'll come back for a single.
Well fielded there at point.
With 3 overs to go, she could well give that high score of the year, 162, a bit of a nudge. Sitting at 133 at the moment. Whitman plays that one out through mid-wicket. Fielder down there just keeps it to a single. Bit of a breeze starting to blow up from the east, which will be to Grace Harris's favour as she likes to put it through mid-wicket. Drives along the ground. Fielder out there though, it'll just keep it to a single.
Good start here by Vol in this over. 3 singles.
Swing and a miss. That's just about the first play and miss for the match.
No, it's been a while, hasn't it, since
Yeah.
we've seen one.
Vol coming round the wicket to Wickman. Full toss. Gets away with that one.
Even longer since we've seen 2 dots. 2 dots in a row. This is a really good over. Close it out and
Uppish, but just a single. A nice tight over from Georgia Vol to finish her 4th over and her spell. Just 4 runs coming off that. Finishes with none for 53 off her 4 overs. Wickman sits on 67, 134 to Grace Harris. 214 for none off 18 overs. Tell you, whoever's at first drop will be pretty annoyed if they're going to keep the pads on for all 20 overs and not get a bat.
we have to come in the last over and you go, oh, come on, guys.
Just
I was comfortable here. They used to do a wonderful scone here as well, so you'd get the scones in the morning.
Okay.
If you first drop, you're probably not tucking into the scones
Nah.
too much, but they got getting comfortable. Have a couple of sneaky scones and
Not ever having been a first grade cricketer, but certainly us 3rd grade cricketers would tap into the scones before we batted.
oof.
We're not quite as serious as the first graders.
It's hard to go past a good scone though.
Oh. We're going to see Kavanagh to come on to bowl her last over of the spell. 2 overs remaining. Wickham's on 68 off 49 deliveries. They're just getting the fielders right. Pick up the breeze coming through the effects mic at the moment. It's getting fairly blustery blowing in from the northeast, left to right on your monitors. Wickman goes high off the edge, square leg coming around to take the catch. The first wicket's fallen with Annie Wickman. Dismissed for 68. First ball of the 19th over, and first drop will get a chance to have a bat.
Yeah, they're putting down the scones and about to step out, but well bowled. Good catch there as well. Held a nerve under that. That would have been swirling a little bit as well in this wind, so well done.
Yeah, hitting into the breeze, which probably didn't help her that much, but still not necessarily an easy catch. It looks pretty easy on the replay. But as you said, it would have swirled in the air. It was off the corner of the bat, so it wasn't a clean hit either.
Yeah.
So you're trying to judge it a bit. And a very generous applause coming in for Annie Wickman. 68 off 80 deliveries. Caught Wheeler bowled Kavanagh, first ball of the 19th over. And Courtney Sipple comes out to join Grace Harris. Batters crossed in that, so Harris will face up to Kavanagh. Full toss straight down the ground, and baseball shot for 6. She just cracked. Wasn't the sound off the bat?
Yeah, that was straight over centre field, wasn't it? That
you
was.
Want to have that as your ringtone.
It was very, very clean. Just hit it back, slapped it, and said, "Don't bowl that to me."
Kavanagh comes in again to Harris, goes back in the crease, just lets it go, and a wide called. Harris starting to move around the crease a bit in these last over and a half.
Don't mind that idea of going wide there to Harris as well. They've got protection back here at a third man and backward of point.
2 steps down, plays that one behind square leg for 4 runs. Well, I think in watching this innings, most of her runs have been out on the onside or driving through covers in mid-off, so he had to go wide and try and bring the cut into play. She hasn't cut as well as what she's done the other shots.
No, I just don't think she's still powerful through there, but it's just it's almost a defensive strategy as well. Hard to bowl it, so you've got to be pretty tight.
And it's Boulder. Neck and crop through the gap between bat and pad. I don't think she got an inside edge onto it, but the Grace Harris innings of 144 comes to an end as we see the replay.
Almost looked like that swung.
Yeah.
As well. Well bowled. Beautiful line.
It was that thing of you miss, I hit. But if we get a chance to see the replay again, watching Kavanagh's response, she thought it was coming straight back at her.
Yeah.
She's starting to crouch a bit. But Grace Harris misses it, and generous applause of her innings of 144 coming to an end. We'll see this replay. You'll see her start to crouch a bit when she thought it was coming back at her.
Yeah.
But I would be too, because a lot of them have been coming straight back.
Back his skills, that's well bowled.
In the meantime, Holly Furling's come out to join Courtney Sipple at 2 for 226. Been a very good over. I know there's been the 6 and the 4, but the 2 wickets have been quite crucial.
It's all happening, isn't it? We've got a bit of everything this over. Bit of excitement, a couple of wickets. Play and a miss.
Kavanagh again into Furling. Comes off the edge, straight to third slip for a single.
Oh, no one's there.
No backup, so they'll get the overthrow. Finishes out the over. Kavanagh with the bowling figures of 2 for 46 off her 4 overs. 2 for 228, 1 over remaining.
Kevin has bowled pretty well at times today, I thought. Figures, well, everyone's figures aren't great in this particular game, but when she's hit her line, she's been very, very good. A few too many error balls, which have been punished, and unfortunately you're bowling them to Gracie, and she can hit a loose ball, so you're not getting away with it, but there's some really good positive signs, I think, there, and just in that last over, a little bit of swing, hits a good length.
Because I think that's what did Gracie Harris in that one. It just straightened itself up. It
Yeah.
was coming across her as the left-hander does.
Yep.
And stumping, the third wicket falls, and Courtney Simple gets the golden duck.
And I've got goosebumps. It's all happening, and cricket seems a super simple game now, doesn't it? 3 wickets. Just need this a little bit earlier in the piece.
We see that she's come down. It's spun just a little bit away from the bat. And nice bit of wicket keeping there by Caitlin Mayer. And the third wicket falls.
I think Sipple got out in a similar way in one of the heat games. Coming down to a spinner like that.
But yeah, her little innings compared to the first 2 dismissals of 68 and 144. But it's the last over of the innings. And we're seeing young Megan Dixon come out. Who again at one point probably didn't think she was going to be batting.
A little less pressure on you when you come out at 3 for 228, isn't it?
Yes, in a T20 game.
In a T20 game. Wouldn't mind that for a 50 over game.
Yes.
I'd be quite happy. Pack up.
Drops well short of any fielder. They'll come back for 2 though. That was a nice...
I'd take them.
Oh no, she's not going to come back for 2. They're going to be run out. Been caught out on that one. I thought that they were going to easily come back for that second, but
No, I think
a nice throw comes in, and Megan Dixon just gets the 1 run off the first ball in the end. Doesn't quite get the golden duck, but a flurry of wickets in the last 2 overs will bring just a little bit of confidence to Sandgate Redcliffe.
yeah, a bit tough there, I think, on Dixon as well. On the back foot playing that shot, so might have been easy too for Holly coming back at the non-strikers end, but a little bit, just need a little bit more time there at the strikers end just to make up for being back in the crease. Bit slow off the mark.
This rush of wickets has slowed some of the scoring rate down a bit. Still having to go for nearly 12 runs and over.
I think you're right, isn't it? It just has slowed the scoring down just a wee little bit. And the momentum change. Holly's turned into Usain Bolt, I think, when
Yeah.
she's out there.
They'll get a run in the end off the sloppy bit of fielding with the overthrow. Finch Furley on the strike, taking an off-stump guard. Unless they were criticising Joe Burns a bit in yesterday's test for taking off stump.
Yeah, I think it's a very personal thing.
Yeah. Just get a single. Considering he comes into the game with a test average of 40, it seems to have worked so far.
It's always the case though, isn't it, when you're struggling a little bit with your form and then you come in and people start criticising or finding fault.
Oh, the spin on there unfortunately catches out, I think, Georgia Vole, and they'll come back for 2. That always is a worry for the fielders when the ball spins when it's been hit. Never spins to you either, always spins away.
Always spins away. The second bounce. It's usually what gets you.
And nice catch. We'll finish out the innings there with Proctor caught 4-2, and the 20 overs is all over with that dismissal. We'll see the replay again, just a pretty simple catch. Keeps the single out, and 4 for 234. Certainly in my planning and thinking this morning, I wasn't thinking that we'd be looking at a score like that.
Yeah, it's a solid outing, isn't it?
As we see Furling and Proctor, the Western Suburbs batters, come off, we'll have a quick look at the scorecard if you want to take us through that, Kirsten.
Yeah, sure. So we've got Grace Harris up the top of the order, 144 off 64, 11 fours and 12 sixes, bowled by Kavanagh for 144. Wickman, 68 runs off 50 balls, 11 fours, 1 6, bowled again by Kavanagh and caught by Wheeler. Sipple out with the first ball, stumped by Mayer, bowled Mills. Holly Furling not out, 5 off 4. Dixon run out for 1, and Proctor are not out for 2. If we go down to the bowling figures, we've got Kavanagh 4 overs, 2 wickets, no maidens, 2 for 46. Mills 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 42. Shackleton 3 overs, no maidens and none for 31. Metham 2 overs, no maidens, none for 25. Roach 3 overs, no maidens and none for 36. And Vol 4 overs, no maidens, none for 53.
Excellent. So we'll take a little break because as the fielding side get ready to do some of their warm-ups before they come on, there'll be roughly a 10-minute change of innings where we'll see Sandgate Redcliffe begin their chase of 234 runs for victory. We'll catch up with you shortly. Welcome back to the Allan Border Field. We're in the first semi-final of the Katherine Raymont Shield semi-final matches. This one being played between Western Suburbs, Sandgate, Redcliffe. Today's T20 game. We've already seen the Western Suburbs batters go to town, hitting 4 for 234 off their 20 overs. We're about to see the start of the reply from Sandgate, Redcliffe. Girls, joining me, my name's Billy Deem. In the commentary box is Kirsten Pike. Kirsten, do you give a chance for the Sandgate Redcliffe girls?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
I'm asking one of the heroes of Sandgate Redcliffe cricket.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a tough ask, but it looks like it's a good deck. I'm part of them. I should be a little bit less biased from a Sandgate.
Right,
Sandgate have a good top order as well, so I think it's going to be a good contest. Definitely a difficult ask, but if you don't go out there with some positive intent, then you're not really in the game, are you? So hopefully it's a good start and they give it a red hot go.
Well, certainly hope so, but certainly looking at the batting strength of the Sandgate Redcliffe side, they've got the batters in the middle at the moment, with certainly Beth Mooney and Georgia Vole out there, and certainly more talent in the dressing room still to come out and bat. So they've got the ability to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, we saw in that game before that obviously solid contributions at the top of the order by Harris and Wickman, but the depth obviously looked like it kind of faded out pretty quickly in that order. I know last minute runs, but hopefully some solid performances here from the Gators.
We're seeing Beth Mooney facing up to Holly Furling. Let's that one go outside the off stump. And certainly if you're to pick a batter in your team, if you're going to have to chase 234 and you had the choice of across the Australian cricket landscape, Beth Mooney would have to be, well, in my mind, I think she is the foremost batter. And I know that there'll be others that think that some of the other Australian team players, Rachel Haynes, etc., are better. But Beth Mooney consistently for the last 18 months has been brilliant in WBBL.
Yeah, she has been, and obviously in outstanding form as well, and plays that anchor role like I don't think anyone else in the Australian kind of cricket landscape for women in any event. So she plays that role and does it well, and we've seen her as well in the past couple of seasons increasing that strike rate and really becoming quite dominating out there as well. We saw it with Sophie Devine this season and historically with the Heat.
Furling comes in. Mooney down the wicket. Trademark Beth Mooney shot through the covers. I don't even bother wondering why they're chasing that one. It's 4 from the moment it left the bat, and that is the Beth Mooney shot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. That one and the square drive she hits, it's a beautiful shot to watch. And if I was a batter, I think I'd like to get off the mark that way as well, wouldn't you? With a glorious cover drive, textbook cricket, and a no ball as well. So she'll get a free hit here and see if she can continue on that. Another one right there would be great hole.
Furling bowls to Mooney, goes back in the crease, pulls that one around back behind square leg. It just bounces inside the rope. So yeah, if you're going to punish a free hit, that's the way to punish it.
Yeah, it looked like a slow ball, but I don't know if that was out the back of the hand. It
was certainly slow enough for Mooney to change her shot and just wait for the ball to come.
Yeah, almost slow in the arm action as well, so probably picked it up pretty early. She could have banged it in short. She got some good carry on those first two deliveries.
Furling, top of her mark, comes running in to Mooney. Plays uppishly towards, but goes with the shot for a single. And we'll probably see a lot more singles being taken by Sandgate Redcliffe. They've got a big task. They're pretty well going 12 and over for the whole 20 overs.
Yeah, it is a decent task, and I like that. Just Holly coming in, and I think the past few seasons she's just been back off the pace a little bit, but coming in, just watching her out there now, really kind of steaming in and hitting the deck hard, and it's really nice to see, and good carry and good pace.
Comes in again, this time to Georgia Vole, faces her first delivery. Tries to guide that one down and misses. Young Holly sort of broke into that Australian team a couple of seasons back, promised a lot, got that injury and seems to not quite got back to the same pace or had the same opportunity. She doesn't get a regular WBBL match time.
No, I think that's a tough competition. Wait for after this ball. But Holly was one that came on the scene very, very young, pretty raw, always kind of limbs going everywhere, but good pace. And then almost when you kind of get that opportunity, almost have people probably telling her too many things.
Yep.
And trying to reconstruct a bowling action. And I think sometimes, look at people's actions and they're very unique to who they are, and not everyone can kind of have the same kind of action. And then obviously she did have that injury and out of the game for a little bit, lost a bit of pace, which was what she was known for when she first started. So hopefully this is a sign of good things to come.
There's a free hit for Vol, who swings and misses. It doesn't get full value for the free hit. The end of the over. 2 no balls in that over, plus 2 boundaries. Gets Sandgate Redcliffe off to none for 11 in their chase of 234.
Yeah, good little start there by the girls. Mixed over as well. I thought Holly actually bowled quite well. Over pitch they won a couple of noes. That doesn't really help the cause too much,
No.
but good signs though, and it looks like there is a little bit in the deck when you actually come in and hit it hard. So Sipper will probably look to do something similar here as well. And we've got Mooney on strike.
So field for the left-handed Mooney on the rope down at third man and mid-wicket, and then a ring of fielders. No backward square leg, just a square leg. No, and point, cover point, mid on, mid off, mid-wicket, and square leg just behind the umpire. It's Courtney Sipple to bowl her first delivery. Can't beat point. So there's certainly a bit of bowling. Ashley Sims in the Western Suburbs team also picked up 31 wickets for the season. So she'll be a bit of a force at 10. 19 wickets, Courtney Sipple in the season as well. So certainly a bit of form in the bowling attack for Wests. Mooney takes a step down towards it. Can't beat mid on, but a chance for a single anyway.
Yeah, looks like she just towed that one a little bit.
But the challenge will be the challenge for the Gators side too, is that they don't really have a chance to get their eye in. They've got to go from the start.
Yeah, they do, particularly with the chase being what it is. I think the common misconception though in T20 is you do have a little bit more time than you think. A lot of people often think ball one you got to go out there and swing, but you can catch up pretty quickly.
Belinda Vole plays that one back down the wicket.
But obviously not wasting balls as well. So I think when you see batters doing it well, it is when they're trying to get set, but they're also just rotating the strike. So instead of just absorbing the dot ball, they're trying to see, yes, I'm getting my eye in, but I can also rotate the strike.
Sipple again. Vole sweeps that one around for 4 runs just inside the rope. It bounces. Just played with the flight of the delivery.
Yeah, good timing. Looked effortless there as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it just came off the bat
Yeah.
nicely. Again, showing you don't necessarily have to go hard. Just got to play smart and intelligent. Yeah, just helps herself around the corner.
It's very stable at the crease. Vole. Movements are very, very simple.
Uppishly, there's 2 fielders converging. They're not going to run into each other. they nearly did, but they still end up taking the catch. And the first wicket falls for Sandgate Redcliffe, with Sipple hitting that 4 and then holding out to mid-on as we see it here. Just got 2 up far underneath it.
Yeah, got almost through the shot a little bit. Got there a bit too early. Oh, that was almost dangerous, wasn't it?
Yeah. They're probably lucky to get away with it, the Western Suburbs fielders.
Did Holly end up taking that catch? Do you want to snare it put it down in the catches column for the season?
So the first wicket falls with the score on 16. One ball still remaining in the second over, as the Sandgate Redcliffe captain Tess Cooper comes out to join Beth Mooney.
If there is ever a day for a captain's knock, it's today.
Well, we certainly saw it in the first innings with young Annie Wickman going along with Grace Harris. Sipple picks up the first wicket. You're right, Holly Furling gets the credit for the catch.
Mooney's had a bat change. Might be the lucky bat.
Ah, one of the Indians does that too, I noticed in the internationals. Change his bat halfway through the innings, and then it was like a second gear he suddenly found.
The heavy bat.
Yeah. And invariably hit a 6 off the next delivery.
Not bad skill, is it?
Yes. And we see the racing car drivers change the tyres. We see the batters now change their bats. It's the end of 2 overs down, 1 for 16. Sandgate Redcliffe with a big challenge ahead of them in the first of the semi-finals in the Katherine Raymont Shield.
Bowling change here with Grace Harris coming on and replacing Holly from the brothers' end.
Tess Cooper been in good form herself, 549 runs for the season at 54.5, which is a pretty good average, and importantly a strike rate of just over 100 as well. So she brings certainly some good form into it, and they'll certainly need that captain's innings you talked about before, Kirsten. But it's not going to come. Just dropped on it there and just played all over it.
Yeah, when it was going down, I thought, oh, here's one. But it did just... Good flight there by Gracie.
Just tossed it up and just...
The dropper.
Yeah. There is a bit of a breeze out there, and that will help Harris with that extra bit of loop. But, yeah, it was just a bit innocuous.
Yeah.
So the second wicket falls.
Gracie does get a little bit of drift on it as well, and she puts a lot of revs on the ball. I think there was some analysis done, and you could see it through some of the Big Bash footage where you can see the revolutions on the ball, and she does give it a good rip. And through that, gets some good drift and turn as well. So well bowled there by Gracie.
It was. That was a classic off-spinner's bowled delivery where you just wanted to drop on the batter at that last minute and take out off and take out middle and leg.
I think when she let it go, she thought it was going to be on the administration building. But a good result.
So we'll see Lily Mills come out as the new batter for Sandgate Redcliffe. Harris's second delivery. Gets taken around over the top of square leg. That will roll for 4 runs. Not necessarily a bad delivery, but again, just playing with that little bit of spin. And with the field in on that leg side, it was always going to roll away for 4. Feeling her neck at the moment, Grace Harris. Wonder whether she's just crinked it or something.
From swinging so hard.
Yes.
Earlier in the day.
Very uncomplicated cricketer.
I'm glad you put cricketer there. I think she's a... She wouldn't mind me saying that. Complicated character. Complicated yet uncomplicated.
Yes, whenever they've had it mic'd up through the WBBL seasons, it's just pretty clear processes about what she wants to do or where she wants to bowl it or...
Gracie's one that plays on instinct, so I think the less she thinks about it, the better.
Yeah.
And I mean, she talked through that one over, I think it was during the WBBL as well, and just talking through how she was going to bowl a couple of balls and ended up getting the wicket through that process as well. So you know what's going through her mind.
Yeah.
And it is a clear process, and I think the less she tries to overcomplicate that process, the better for her and execution of her skills.
Yeah. It's very much a see and hit and the see and bowl. That breeze starting to pick up. Bit of a coastal one coming in from the northeast. Mooney just caresses that one out through the covers. There is a fielder out there, so they'll come back for two. Holly Furling. It's the end of the second over. Another wicket taking over for the Western Suburbs team, as they're defending 234. 2 for 23 off 3 overs.
And Sipple's coming back on for a second over.
They're just talking about the breeze. You can see the flags are blowing in the background, coming sort of from top left of the screen across the field. Sipple's sort of bowling into the breeze to a certain extent. Ramps it over the top and beats the field for 4. Pretty brave to be pulling out a shot that early in the innings.
Yeah, innovative. I like it. There's no protection down there. You've got your fine leg, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's very, very open. There's no third man. I'm sorry. Is there a third man? There is a third man down there.
But
My
fairly wide.
Fairly wide, but nothing behind square on that leg side.
Yeah. Sipple comes in again to Mills, who hits that one in the air, back of square leg, but clears the fielder this time. They'll come back for 2. Well run. Bit of pressure on the fielder caused a bit of a wayward return.
Yeah, that must have been close to a no ball as well.
Sort of holding up, that shot was sort of hit straight into the teeth of the wind.
Yeah. It's almost like a pitching wedge when it went into the
Yeah, there wasn't a lot
turf.
of not
Didn't
a lot
move.
of pace or anything on it. We saw Wickman get dismissed in her innings on a shot very similar,
Yeah.
where it holds up in the breeze. Cracks that one out through point. That one's going to roll with the slope as well for 4 runs. A nice shot.
Yeah, very good hands there as well. Just waited on it and caressed it through that cover point region.
All wrist in that one.
Looked like she had a lot of time
Mm.
as well. Just waited and played it on the up.
Mills moves up to 14 off 7 deliveries. Second boundary in the over as well. Very important for Sandgate Redcliffe. A nice little single to take there. Chance here with those little singles too that you might pick up the odd little misfield as well and turn that single into a two. Said before, it's not overly a hard game, and 2 runs a ball might sound difficult, but yeah, smart cricket will get it for you.
Yeah, and particularly here as well, you've got a left-hand and right-hand combination as well, so the ball has to change their line each single, so if you can just manipulate the strike where you can, and you'll pick up the boundary ball as well.
Simple to Mooney goes down the wicket, gets that single. And a fairly simple over comes away with 12 runs off the over, which is exactly what the prescription was before they went out. As the sun gets bathed in a little bit of sun for a moment, there's not a bit of blue sky starting to come in from the west.
Yeah, it looks a bit dull. Is this the east? Is that the east?
The east, yeah.
East. I'm bad with my...
No, that's okay.
I'm not very good with wind direction either. Can't really tell that.
Okay. Well, I had 10 years of Boy Scout, so I know my east from the west and my north from the south.
I need my compass.
Mooney gets that one out through point for a single. Yeah, they used to teach us in Scouts how to tell, if you didn't have a compass, to tell your north from your south with a watch. The challenge is that they're all digital nowadays. You've got a hand one, so that would be able to be done. But yeah, for people with a digital watch, or now I just have my phone, so I don't even have a watch. Nice play back in a big space down there. She will pick it up just inside the rope, so they'll come back for a pretty easy 2.
Yeah, well glided down there.
Got a good start to the over for the Gators.
The sun definitely has come out, hasn't it?
It has. It'll probably raise a bit of the humidity level.
Ooh, won't it?
Swings hard into that one. Will drop just in front of Holly Furling, just for another single. So certainly the Sandgate Redcliffe batters thinking that they're a chance to at least go at Grace Harris. Mooney comes down the ground, gets that wide of mid-on for 4 runs. Really dragged that one across.
Yeah, she did, and just good feet there by Mooney, just getting down the wicket. Playing with a very straight bat.
See what Harris has in a comeback delivery to Mooney. Nice soft hands for a single. Of course, Queensland Fire teammates. And I believe the Fire will get a season in January, I think, for the WNCL.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the dates, but definitely it's all been confirmed, which is really good news for the girls. It's
That said, I dare say there were some nervous shudders though after what's happening in Sydney at the moment. So
yeah,
throws
well,
everything back up in the air again.
Touch wood that it continues, and I think these girls put in so much work, an incredibly long off-season, pre-season. The off-season they're still doing work these days as well, and the pre-season was exceptionally long, particularly when there was uncertain as to when the WBBL would start and if it would go ahead. To have it kind of ended there and not have the WNCL, I think would have been incredibly disappointing for them. A lot of effort just for not many games.
Yeah.
So,
because certainly for the girls, the WBBL season was early than what it has been in previous years.
yeah, it kicked off early and then a decent break, I guess, until it kicks off into the WNCL. But good news, fingers crossed it all goes ahead and they get out there and get all the rounds in, which is what everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to play cricket, so.
Yes. Seen a change in bowlers. Sims coming on. Ashley Sims has said taken 31 wickets across the season. be the leading wicket taker in the Katherine Raymont Shields matches.
Oh.
Full toss, it will be a no ball already called. Just dropped, but it was just enough to get to the rope. But will be a free hit for Beth Mooney.
A bit of Virat Kohli flair to it, that
Yes.
one as well by Mooney. A little, almost a very wristy on the shot, and a nice little bit of flair.
We'll catch the replay of it here.
I think it's the foot. The foot's very
Yeah.
Kohli.
See how she goes with this free hit. Sims in again. Puts it along the ground for a single. Sims pitched it up, so didn't give her a chance to really get underneath it.
No, she bowled that one well, didn't she? For a free hit.
Brings Mills on the strike. 18 off 11 deliveries. Nice sweep. They'll make a
Oh.
pretty quick single there. They get through pretty easily.
Well run. Good feeling there too by Holly. Just a square leg.
Brings Mooney back on strike. Goes down the ground. Fielder though out on the rope just keeps it to a single. They thought about two. The throw touched wayward but got in fairly quickly, so created a bit of doubt in the batters. Gets that one on the full but straight down to mid-off. Gemma Barsby, long time Sandgate Redcliffe girl. I thought would have seen her playing. She's not playing this season, or?
She played a couple of games, but they're back in Adelaide at the moment, so I think they had some warm-up games before Christmas, similar to Josie Dooley, who would have been here for Western Suburbs. So they're back over in Adelaide. I think it might have even been this weekend playing a game, and they'll obviously come home, I think, for Christmas, and then back again in the new year for WNCL.
Okay. Oh, they're playing for Adelaide for South Australia?
Yeah, so they're playing for
Okay.
South Australia. I mean, I don't know why you would not wear the maroon over
I know.
the red.
Well, it's not a nice red either.
Red's a very difficult colour to pull off, I think. More of a statement piece.
Especially that South Australian fire truck red.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the lure was. But no, it's a good opportunity for them to go over there and I think try and force their way for Dooley to keep. Obviously not getting the chance with Mooney in the fire team, and Gemma, I think, looking to get more of a bowl and probably an opportunity with the bat as well. So it's exciting for them, like any players going to a different state. So hopefully they do well, just not against us.
Yes. Holly Furling coming back in. We're into. We've seen the power play finish at 2 for 53. So the field spreads a bit further into a suburban type field with a player in every suburb.
Maybe we can blame Jude Coleman. She'll be listening.
Oh,
in
she
this
dragged them across.
afternoon
Yes.
over in
I saw
South
it last
Australia.
year in the WBBL that she was part of the
Yeah.
Scorchers setup.
So we'll blame her for shifting a few players.
You don't often think that in the girls that you're starting to see that, but I guess as it becomes a more professional league and girls are looking for that opportunity to go further with their career now that there's good pathways for it, that they may go changing states.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've certainly seen it in the WBBL and not so much historically in the WNCL, so the more traditional form for the girls. But there's so many players coming through now and everyone's wanting an opportunity, so if you're not getting one where you are, I guess that's the only thing you can do. Otherwise, you'll have to bide your time and hopefully make the most of your chances to elevate yourself in the batting order or get a bowl.
Mooney looking for a ramp. Ooh, she might have thought that went down the leg side, but obviously not far enough for the umpire to think about calling it a wide. And Holly Furling with her trademark ribbon. One of the few girls that has the ribbon, a very bright white one.
Yeah, very stark. Might have been a little bit of bleach. Nappy sand. I don't know how she keeps it so white. And always well tied as well for Holly.
Yeah, she's pulling it off far better than what my daughter pulls off. Their ribbons are all over the place, all over the house. Them and hair ties. It's the bane of the males in our household is her daughter's hair ties. You can easily find her because you're just following them around the house. Like a trail of breadcrumbs. I can say that she's not listening. Field bathed in sunshine. Furling top of the mark comes in. Baseball swing there by Mills.
Yeah, probably missed one there, Mills. It gave a little bit of width.
Well, she stepped away, and whether Furling, you give her credit thinking that she stepped away and went a little bit wider, or I think it may have been a bit premeditated in what she wanted to do. Furling in again. Nice little bouncer.
Yeah, good over there by Hull.
Yeah, just the 2 runs off it.
Looking strong at the crease as well, so she's obviously a strong athlete and just looks it out there to be quite... Seems very, very solid at the crease, I'm going to say. Very powerful. And just a good release point there, and everything's kind of heading in the right direction, which occasionally she can be a bit, spray them a little bit, but looks really good, tight lines and good wheels.
Well, it'll be good for, again, the Fire to have her back in some form.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's a great one, and she's one that can bend her back as well, so gets it up nicely. We just saw that one, got up pretty good height, so I think she's a key bowler, and hopefully she'll be out there and with the girls in the maroon and just bowling those good lengths. And
Mooney down the wicket. There's a fielder there on the right, but they will come back for 2.
I think for Hull, really just hitting the deck hard. It's good for her, and see her out there today, and it's wonderful to see.
Does Sammy Jo Johnson come back into the Fire setup?
No, so Sammy Jo is staying with New South Wales.
Is she? Okay.
So
originally a Lismore girl.
Yeah, she was, and she's relocated down to Sydney, so...
I'll get round to it, just pulls it in, just kept it to a single as well. Good fielding. Brings Mills on the strike. She's got herself up to 21. Fairly quick time. And bowled around her. Tried to sweep that around, and it's just taken the leg stump. And the third Sandgate Redcliffe wicket falls. With the score on 58 as we see the replay.
Did you drag it on or just missed it?
I'm quite sure we don't get a chance to see whether it was a drag on it. I think she just missed it.
Missed it.
Got herself 2 inside it.
Yeah.
And Sims showing why she's the leading wicket taker in club cricket this season. Picks her first wicket up for the match. And brings the new batter out, wicketkeeper Caitlin Mayer. Three for 58, halfway halfway through the 8th over. Ooh, probably should have got the stumping then. Not sure what happened to the keeper Proctor then.
That must have been close.
Be quick through the ball so we won't get a replay. Gets that one down through the big gap there is in third man. They'll come back for 2. Not sure if we'll get a replay on that stumping attempt. We'll have a look here.
Foot's out.
Got the bat just back in time. That's the end of Sims's overs. Got the important wicket. Only gave away 5 runs. 3 for 60 off the 8th over. Corresponding time, none for 85 was Western Suburbs. So scoreboard pressure will start to build a little bit. Both in runs behind and certainly the loss of the 3 wickets. You see Furling come back up to bowl her 3rd over. Just gets it over the head, mid-wicket. Fielder out there on the rope. I'll come back for 2. Into the teeth of the breeze. Furling comes in again to Beth Mooney. Beth Mooney again into that breeze. There's a fielder out there, but it's gone for 6 just over the hands. She hit into the teeth of that breeze.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? I thought that might have been a bit short and caught on the boundary, but powerful shot.
Just out of reach of the fielder that's out there. See that on the replay, that she's there and getting ready to try and catch it, but just over the top. But not by a lot. Comes off the pads. And that'll go for 4-leg buys. I think, no, off the bat.
Off the bat. Got a little tickle on it.
Yeah.
As a batter, you're saying that's all bat? All bat?
Yes.
Definitely no bat on that.
But it just sounded a bit dull.
Yeah, I thought it was pad.
She'll take it. Goes in the bookers off the bat. Only again. Then he gets it out through the covers. Fielder out there. They think about coming back for 2. They say no. And good decision. Grace Harris has got a pretty reasonable arm on her.
There's a no ball too.
So it'll be a free hit this time to Caitlin Mayer. Gets the free hit. Yeah, I still think that's off the pad. Anyway, sometimes it works out for the batters and other times it doesn't.
If I was Holly at this ball, I'd just be going, bash it in on a good length.
Pitches it up, throws everything at it, Caitlin Mayer. There's a fielder out there. Just keeps it to a single. Seen 14 runs off the overs so far, 15. extra pace helping the Sandgate Redcliffe batters. Comes down the wicket.
Well bowled, well played.
Yeah, nice little contest going between Mooney and Furling. Well, it's good to watch the contests within the contests. Short pulls it around, just out to Harris. Comes in off the rope to keep it to a single. Over gets called, end of 7 overs, 9 overs, 3 for 77. Good over for Sandgate Redcliffe. Try and haul in this massive target of 235 for victory.
Yeah, you get the thought that these girls out there batting will be looking to see who they can target as a bowler and what overs they can actually go after to try and get I think they are a little bit behind the run rate, so they'll need some bigger overs and just to work out who's there that they can actually get that 20. A couple of overs of 20 would be helpful, just to claw back that scoring rate a little bit. By the looks of it, Sims probably isn't going to be the one to target. She seems to be bowling a bit of a hard length, or maybe it's the speed.
Mayer gets a lot onto that. The fielder out there takes it on the bounce. West have probably done their homework a bit and seem to have the fielders in the right place as well at the moment.
I think what we've seen, they haven't bowled as many loose balls. So a little bit easier to protect.
Full toss, goes straight down the ground. Just for another single. And he gets up to 44 off 28 deliveries. There, this time facing Sims. Goes big, the fielder coming in, doesn't get to it on in that valley of indecision where you go, do I keep going for it or do I just get it on the bounce?
Yeah, I thought, to be honest, I thought she got more of that than what she did, and a good thing she didn't, because just kind of bounced just outside of that inner circle.
Mooney goes down over the top. That one should go all the way for 4 runs. Finds the gap this time.
And that's a beautiful shot. She makes it look easy, doesn't she,
Yeah.
Mooney? Plays that shot and just hits with a nice clean blade.
Sims comes in again round the wicket to Mooney. Yeah, I don't think there's not too many women players with a better cover drive than Beth Mooney in the game.
No. Just a really clean hitter.
And as much as all the bowlers know that, none of them have been able to combat it either.
No.
Because they all know that not to bowl it there, but she still seems to find a way to play the shot and to get the balls to play the shot.
Yeah, I think that's you know, one of the trademarks of being a good player, isn't it? That, well, perhaps a great player. So go from a good player to a great player is just being able to manipulate that same ball to different positions. So
Yep.
having a backward point, front of point, cover point, and still being able to squeeze it through those gaps. I think we saw Meg Lanning do that in one of the games as well. So just a classic player that can just manipulate it, use their hands, and just work the angles. Incredibly frustrating to bowl to, but
Yes.
a wonderful skill, and it's pretty to watch.
Well, a lot of that comes too from having that stable base to work from, so that you're keeping your head still. So because she does, you're right, she can make that correction to suddenly sometimes we'll see instead of putting it out through the covers or towards mid off, it'll go out through point with just a slight change of the bat because of the ball
Yeah.
isn't quite there.
just has good balance, strong position, and just can manipulate it.
Megan Dixon coming on to bowl her first over of the innings to Beth Mooney. Halfway mark, 3 for 85. Comes down the ground, picks it up on the full, plays it out through mid-wicket. But the boundary runner brings it in for a single. There to face Dixon. Pretty firmly hit down the ground, just for a single though. Certainly Sandgate Redcliffe supporters will be hoping these two can stay here for another 4 or 5 overs at least, just doing what they're doing at the moment, quietly accumulating runs, getting themselves still within some sort of striking distance. So out through the back of square leg just for a single though. Not quite finding the boundary enough.
No, not quite, but you're right. I think at 5 overs, if this pair can kind of keep working together and building a strong foundation, might be about 4 overs before they'd have to probably go, but they're doing a good job and just rotating the strike, getting the occasional boundary just would.
That one will go for 4 runs. That was well hit.
Yeah, and that's helpful as well, and just working out where their strengths are and where their boundary balls can go. That one, Holly's just a little bit squarer. Being dropped back now.
And the chance for Sandgate Redcliffe is coming into the bowlers 4 and 5-2 for the Western Suburbs team. It's their chance to get those runs.
Yeah, correct, and just picking who it's going to be, and I'll have to target 1 or 2 of them.
One's over the top, and that'll go for 4 runs as well. Important back-to-back boundaries. But again, simple game. They've got the 11 runs already. We saw West do that because they were doing it with not a lot of risk taking. Dixon's last ball of her over. Again, a full toss. It's played down the ground. But 12 runs comes off that over, an important over for Sandgate Redcliffe in their chase. 3 for 97.
I think the run rate now, I haven't got a calculator, but it must be around 15 or... That's, target 2, 3, 4. It's about 15 runs and over.
15 and over.
Oh, it's good maths then, wasn't it?
Yeah, impressive.
Like that one.
Might have to have a career change.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought that, no.
You can see Grace Harris bowl her 3rd over. Already picked up a wicket.
Changed ends as well here.
The breeze at the moment will probably take it away a bit. She does get a fair bit of loop. As you said earlier, she really does put a lot of work on the ball to get those revolutions going. Mooney on strike. full toss out through mid-wicket, gets what it deserves, 4 runs. Nice sounding crack off the bat.
Yeah, loose delivery there by Grace and dispatched as it should have been there by Mooney.
Brings up the 100 as well for Sandgate Redcliffe. Harris again into Mooney. Makes a late adjustment to play it out through point. They'll just get a single. The girls have been pretty quick for Western Suburbs on getting to the ball.
Yeah, they've been good out on the boundary, haven't they? Quick to the ball. Good yards, good early yards to the ball just to put the batters off.
Harris to Mayer. Gets to it on the full, but can't beat mid-wicket. Bit of a fumble, but that's probably a nice reflection too of the Western Suburbs fielders. They could have at 234 thought we could afford to be just a little casual because we've got a big defence, but they are working hard as well. It's the end of Grace Harris's third over, 22 for the 1 wicket. 3 for 103 at the same time. 3 for 133. The none for 133 was Western Suburbs, so they're still in the hunt. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a big task. If they could get a couple of big overs, I think that would be helpful. Just gives them a little bit more of a sniff, but you know, cricket's a funny game, and while these two are still out there, got a good little partnership going. Mooney's going well, she's striking them well, so I think while they're still out there, that you've still got a chance.
Yeah.
And it's just about being confident and hopefully the girls believing that they can.
Sipple coming on. Can't beat the field, Mayor.
West have used 5 bowlers, so they might be looking to these 5 to bowl it out, unless there's a 6th one that they might use to share the Dixon overs for the 4.
That one's come off the bat nicely. Fielder there, but it's over the top of Grace Harris. For a moment I think she thought she was a chance, but it just kept going.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? That one sounded nice too.
Yeah. So again, they might feel as though they can target that sort of boundary. If Sipple pitches in short, which she did this time, and just got all of it. Sipple comes in her 3rd delivery. Mayer goes back in the crease, catches the edge, and that's going to go straight to point and dropped.
Down.
Again, where the ball spins away from the fielder in the air, and unfortunately she got herself into a poor position trying to take the catch. She just started to fall down at the knees.
Straight through. They're usually the ones where you want to go bury yourself somewhere. And
Pretty well.
Don't look at the skipper.
You don't
look
go
at the
anywhere
bowler.
near the bowler for about 3 overs.
Go hide somewhere and hope that they get out very, very soon.
Brings Mooney on strike to Sipple. Swings hard and into that one. That's going to go for 6 as well. Bounces over that second fence.
I just kept on going too, didn't it? Just which way did you say the wind was going?
Well, the wind
I just kind of
it went into the wind as such.
just kept on
Just
going.
kept going.
There's a good middle on the bat. She didn't look like she hit that one too hard either.
No, sort of just it was all timing. And a good brand of bat.
Yeah. Good plug for the sponsors. Who's she using? Grey Nicholas.
Oh, gets that one past point for 4 more. And again, that was talked before about it, where she comes down. It's not quite there to drive, so she can just drop the bat at the last minute because she's stable in the head.
Yeah, waits for it, doesn't she? Does it really, really well. Waits for it and just uses their hands to place it. And a good over here for the Sandgate girls too. This might be one of the big ones that they need.
Simple again. Mooney goes down, reaches that time, bounces over the keep. I'm not sure what that hit, but it bounced over the. We'll find out in a second. It's been bat. Umpire says it's got the bat. We'll see the replay here. Yeah, she's hit it into the wicket block, and that's what's bounced it over the head of the keeper.
What an underutilised shot.
How do you practice that
I
shot?
don't know.
You don't practice. You can't. Can you practice them?
And down and up over the keeper for 4.
She gets herself up to 70 already off 37 deliveries.
And a good over too, wasn't it? That's one that there'll be another one like that, just to keep bringing back that target.
Well, 21 runs off that over with a drop catch.
The drop catch. That's the painful bit, isn't it?
Mm.
And Dixon changing ends.
And again, this will be another over that these Sandgate Redcliffe girls will target. They got 12 off her first over. Mare, though, will be probably trying to swing her into the onside, but that's into the breeze with the longer boundary. Fielder down there, but it'll bounce just in front for a single. Start to hear that breeze going through the effects mic. Slight adjustment to the field, moving that cover on the rope around a bit more towards mid-off. Need to come up with a name for that position. Deep cover on the rope. Puts everything into that. There's a fielder out there though, just for a single.
Yeah, I think she liked the look of that one, didn't
Yeah.
she? You could see almost grip that bat a little bit harder and swing that little bit harder.
Dixon this time coming in, right arm over the wicket to Mare.
Oh, that
Tries
was,
to reach wide. Wide called on that one.
that was a very slower ball.
It was. Nearly third bounce to the keeper.
Yeah.
Bit of pressure coming up on Dixon in this over. She knows it's a crucial one. Jumped across the crease well and truly then. Mare just gets that single away.
And brave to go again with the slower ball, I thought.
Yeah.
After that wide, it might have been the words of wisdom from Holly in her ear saying, have a go again. Take the pace off.
Then he goes down. Just clears the fielder's head. She hit high up on the bat splice then. The bat's got such a good centre, it just carried mid-wicket.
Yeah.
Mooney's sort of given up, thought that she was going to be out caught. You can see her just give up there as she starts to go down. Swing, it catches the edge of the bat. That's going to be caught this. Oh, it's dropped again. I'll put the mocker on her. Second time in 2 overs, same sort of
Same
shot.
fielder, is that?
Could be too. Exactly same position, sort of spinning off the edge of the bat.
Yeah. Looks like it's a ploy though for Dixon to bowl slower balls to Mare. Oh,
That'll be a full toss. Oh, I think she dropped that.
nearly.
Hasn't been called a no ball, so
It must have been close, surely.
it didn't get called a no ball. We'll see the replay.
Too far down the wicket, perhaps. I think Gracie basically face planted then.
Yes.
It was a great effort, but her nose probably copped a bit of a hiding.
A bit of
She sees
first
that.
aid from Kirby Short. I'm not quite sure that's part of Kirby Short's remit to offer first aid support, but anyway.
Maybe she was just telling Grace that it looked as bad
Yeah,
as you think it did.
make the blooper reel at the end of the season.
Curbs probably would have said a little bit more politely.
She's not going to have much time to rethink it through because she's going to get the ball to bowl. 3 for 133 off 14 overs. This becomes the crucial over, I think, for Sandgate Redcliffe. They'll need to have a good over to fly home with.
Yeah, I think you're right there. You can't leave it too late to keep bringing it back, so...
And the earlier they do, is the better chance of putting a bit of pressure back onto the Western Suburbs fielders too.
Yeah, and the bowlers out there, I think if they still think that they're in with a bit of a sniff, and it seems to be 10 runs and over is something that's quite achievable. So if you can kind of sneak another 20.
Mooney gets that one past point. It's not going to get to the downward slope part of the field, so they'll come back for 2 though. Pretty easy too. It's going to be interesting to see the other teams in this afternoon's match as they're sitting watching this game, Valleys and the Gold Coast, and seeing what they can learn about the pitch. They can obviously see that it's pretty easy to get 10 runs and over.
Yeah, it almost looks like a couple of these balls seem to be holding a little bit, and or maybe that's just the execution of a couple of shots, but it just seems to be a little bit holding. That just might be that it's that time of the day in New Peel. Clouds now, a bit overcast before. Now it's probably getting baked, so you probably see it's going to be a bit of a flat track this afternoon.
Harris to Mayor, there's a fielder down there, so it'll just be a single. Yeah, but interesting. Well, I'm not sure what sort of roller goes on after this match, whether it's just a light roller or they roll the living daylights out of it to flatten it a bit further. I think this wicket does get sticky every now and then. I've seen it sometimes in 50 over games here.
It does, particularly with the humidity. It gets a bit sticky, which is why I thought it might just do a little bit, particularly with the new ball as well. And while it's overcast, not so much now that it's...
Well, I'm not a
full
geologist,
sun.
but I have a theory, which I've espoused for a while. Because this field is not that much higher than the Brisbane River, that when it's high tide, there's a bit of surface water
I have
or
heard that.
feeling of moisture that comes up in this wicket.
Yeah.
I've never had a tidal chart on me to compare to see at any given, but you do see days where it does get sticky all of a sudden.
And I have heard that's why it does a little bit in the mornings as well. Something around the tidal
Yep.
movement.
Anyone that's parked a car around these streets know that, particularly on a very high tide, the streets start to get water in the gutters.
They do the old king tides, and doesn't take much, does it?
Nah.
A bit of rain, a king tide, and
Yeah, I've been here in ground announcing games where we've had to announce to the spectators to move their cars because it was getting up pretty high. So Harris's over went for 9 runs. Not quite the amount they were hoping for, but 3 for 143. Importantly, the 2 batters that are in form are still there. Mooney again trying to go after Dixon, just gets the single out to mid-wicket. Can't quite get to her. I think you're right, just taking that pace off the ball a bit.
Yeah, I guess we'll see this ball if she does the same thing again and just bowl that real slower ball to Mare, who's obviously looking to go straight.
Well, I think she's just swinging at one speed.
Yeah. Just like that.
That will pick the gap between the 2 fielders perfectly.
That was perfect, wasn't it?
Yes.
I thought they might have been just working out who was going to stop it, but
Both of them worked out though, but not going to get to it.
just perfectly between the 2 of them. But you can definitely see that that's what Mare's looking to do, and that's her intent, just to go straight down.
Straight down the field, let's just get an easy single.
Smart bowling as well here by Dixon, she's got to field her straight, so she just needs to be as straight as she can. And basically they're just going to look to punch it straight down the ground. Can't do much more with that. And your fielders up around here, you've got your point, third man, short third.
Slow full toss. Mooney gets that one out. She's not going to beat the fielder, but they will come back for 2. She might be a bit disappointed with herself with such a slow full toss. She could have got it a bit wider to find the boundary.
She's going to get on to one of them soon, I think.
That one out through the covers for a single. Gets herself up to 86, so she's certainly playing the role that Grace Harris played in West's first innings of getting towards that century. Harris obviously going on and beyond. And Sandgate Redcliffe will need Beth Mooney to do the same thing. Can't get it underneath it, so just gets the single. Good bowling from Dixon.
I mean, the difference is, just looking at the scorecard and the boundaries, the number of 4s seems to be relatively similar just on a basic look, but certainly the number of 6s is where the difference is, and the maximums, I think, is where the Western Suburbs girls really made an impact, just clearing that boundary more often than not and really accelerating. So the Sandgate girls have been good at hitting the 4 ball, but just haven't been able to get that true maximum.
And difference is roughly of 40 runs at the moment between the 2 sides at the corresponding mark. You've only got to hit 7 6s and that difference is gone. And Grace Harris did that on her own. Holly Furling to bowl her last over of her spell. 3 overs, none for 30. Whoa, nice bit of fielding. Keeping Beth Mooney honest in the crease.
Great piece of work.
She's gone for 10 and over, so the Sandgate Redcliffe team would fancy their chances against her. Not hitting so straight. She needs to go just a bit wider of the fielder, but good tight bowling from Furling, keeping it right up at those stumps.
Yeah, really tight. It almost looks like she had a little bit of a hint of outswing on that one before.
Goes wide and called a wide.
I didn't think we'd had too many wides in this innings. That's only the second.
Yeah.
A couple of noes, but in terms of wides, they've been quite structured and in their bowling.
This time she's manages to get away for a run off the bat. A very good over so far from Holly Furling.
Yeah, bowling that real full line, difficult to get under and easy to control from a fielding point of view. So she's just making him hit her sweepers, and that's all she needs to do as a bowler here.
Can't beat mid-wicket. Very good over so far. Another dot. 3 dots are wide and a single so far. A bit of an ungainly shot there, gets the single.
She had a slow ball on her first over and one again in a fourth, looks like.
Someone off the pads. There's no one down at the back of square leg, so that's going to roll for 4. Just eases that pressure off a little bit.
She's overstrided.
It's another no ball.
Yeah, she's overstrided a couple of times today, and I wonder if it's the wind, if it is behind her, if she's just kind of blowing her a little bit in the run, or...
She's the only one that has overstepped for the no balls today. I think that's about her 4th.
Yeah, it is her 4th, so... Her run-up looks fluid, so maybe it's just a bit of hint of wind behind her.
Probably doesn't take much wind either to put you over a little bit. It's the end of the over.
A good spell there by Holly. Thought she bowled very, very well. Good control. That last over was great. Absent the no balls.
But yeah, crucial over because it was one that certainly Sandgate Redcliffe needed to take far more runs off than they actually did.
Yeah, correct. And just to hold it, if they'd had a big over there, now it's basically, you'd say, unattainable, but big over then or the one before that, and I think it just kind of switches some of the momentum a little bit. So good performance there by last couple of overs and Dixon again here, and I think it's a bit too late for the Sandgate girls to bring it home.
Well, it is, unless they're going to get 20 or 30 off this over. Goes high. It's going to fall between them, so they're only going to get the single though. A good show of faith though, I think, in West for Dixon to be bowling the 3rd last over. Mooney's on strike.
Shot.
Swings hard at that one and gets the 4. And bounce over the rope. Need a couple more of those in this over if they're going to get them closer. At the moment they're nearly 50 runs behind. Knowing though that Western finished well in their last 2 overs, they lost a few wickets.
Yeah, I think...
But they still need 70 runs.
70 off 3, I think it's a very tough ask.
That one might clear the rope. It does clear the rope.
It's helpful.
A couple of overs of a couple of those in each over would help. Probably not enough to win it to, but to get a little bit closer.
And I think that's part of it, isn't it? It's playing until the end of the game and still trying to probably not get the win. Well, it's out of reach, but just to get as close as you can and probably smatter some of the confidence of the West girls leading into tomorrow's game.
Mooney's on 97. Gets that one through. That'll be her century with that 4.
And only 2 balls slower than Gracie's.
Yeah.
As well. Done in different ways.
She just realised herself she's got the 100 up. But a nice bit of effort. And maybe this is a challenge if you, as a batter, to go, well, yes, we're not going to win, but what can I do to get us close? How do I find those things? So you're still testing yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's what you want, don't you, as a player, just to keep yourself in the contest.
Gets that one around, and that's going to go. No, Grace. Well, she just loped. No real hurry to pick it up.
The old one-handed
Yes.
grab on the boundary.
That's that uncomplicatedness.
Yeah.
The rest of us would have panicked and gone, hey, I've got to get down to it. Just throws the hand down nonchalantly.
Would have looked silly if she missed it.
Well, that's right. But it was never in her head that she was going to miss it, was it?
Got big mitts. Oh.
Full toss. That's going to go over this. No, it's not. Into the breeze. The breeze has held it up and she's been caught on the fence.
That should have gone over. I think was.
Yeah. And Mare's innings of 43 off 34 now comes to an end. We'll see the replay there. She's standing pretty much inside the rope, just
on.
And again, if the breeze wasn't there, doesn't matter. The ifs, it's a game of ifs.
Yeah.
And Dixon, off her last ball of her 4 overs, picks up a wicket to finish with 1 for 46. 4 for 178. There's 44 off 33 deliveries.
Good partnership though, wasn't it? Just to, I don't know how many that was. Was that about?
I took it from 58 to
Must have been
178,
close to
so
a-
it's
I was
120.
going to say it would have been over 100. So
Yeah, 120.
good partnership and good for Mare as well to spend some time out there with Mooney, having a good bat and just trying to learn her craft from one of the best in the game at the moment.
Yeah, 4 fours and a 6 for herself. The breeze is really kicked in now. Sims is going to bowl her last over. Mooney comes down into that breeze and she's going to still clear the rope. That was hit straight into the teeth of it. This time along the ground. Just going to get a single. As a new batter, just get to face her first delivery.
Good way to get off the mark. Works a single.
Yep.
Gives it back to Mooney to see what more damage she can do.
Fielder down there though, so it's just a single. Sims into Kavanagh. Beats the bowler. Bit of a hurry on for Mooney, but she gets back in time. And again, goes long and into the picket fence for 6.
Those pickets got a bit of a hiding, don't they?
Well, they're starting to break now,
Yeah.
a couple of them.
Saw Gracie hit one in the first dig, and Mooney's knocked another one. A couple of little divots.
Sims bookends her 4th over with a 6 at the start and a 6 at the end. Finished with 1 for 38 off her 4 overs, 4 for 194. Still a pretty fair effort.
Yeah, a good chase, isn't it?
To think that to score nearly 200 and lose.
It's a very good effort.
Courtney Simple will bowl the final over. Kavanagh facing up.
It's a lovely shot. Flick off the legs. 4 runs. Looked very elegant, didn't it?
It did. It was just a nice little flourish with the flick. Swing and a miss. I think the score chart's a little incorrect at the moment in that Kavanagh, now
Here we
they've got
go.
it right, Kavanagh's on 6. She was getting all the credit for the Mooney 6s.
I'm sure she didn't mind that.
No, this is going to be out caught though. Bit of a 9-iron type shot, just went in the air and hung up there, and the fielder was able to come in time to take the catch. Her little cameo of 6 comes to an end. Does bring Mooney back onto strike with the remaining 3 deliveries.
She's on 116. What did Grace finish up with? She was...
144.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was the battle within the battle.
yes. I think she's going to catch her. New batter for Sandgate Redcliffe comes out. Kalia Wheeler.
A long walk to the middle.
Certainly is. May not get to face a ball. Sipple into Mooney. Oh, how good is that shot? What did we say?
It's a beauty, isn't it?
She goes down the leg side and then still reaches across and then finds the gap between those 2 fielders who could nearly shake hands.
Yeah, it's a beauty. Just plays it so well.
Sipple comes in again to Mooney. Throws everything at that one, but just gets it down for a single. Gets her to 121.
That's a 200 as well. Just
202. 203.
And kind enough to give Wheeler the final ball of the game. She goes, oh, here you go, you can have one.
What do? Do you swing or do you just make sure you don't get out?
I don't think the ratings really counts for much at this point, does it? Yeah,
There's
there's
a
your
swing.
answer.
They're going to pull it in just inside the rope. Yes.
Yeah.
She'll come back for 2. So the rating does count because you get 2. So at least it boosts your average up a touch.
A good 2.
That's the end of the innings at 5 for 205. I still sit there and think, how do you lose a game when you score 205 in a chase? But that's because 234 was scored by Western Suburbs in their first bat. And congratulations to the Western Suburbs girls. They finished top of the table, so in some ways it would be unjust if they didn't win this game to get into tomorrow's grand final. But you've still got to do all the hard work to get there, Kirsten.
Yeah, I think that's right. And what I did like is a strong, obviously, opening partnership there by the Western Suburbs girls, but lacked a little bit of depth, I thought, in the batting lineup from there. A few cheap wickets, that might have just been the state of the game, but they came out here and bowled really well, fielded well, so that's going to hold them in good stead for whatever happens this afternoon in the game. I think for the Sandgate girls, they'll probably just rule a bit of a fairly ordinary bowling performance, and that comes when you're getting attacked pretty hard by some big hitters as well, so that's a learning experience for them, and they'll go out there and have a look. And no doubt wish they'd probably done some things better, but they can take heart from this chase, and scoring 205 in response to that 233. I think it's a solid effort, and for these girls to go out there and a few of them having a bat with Mooney as well, and I think that's something they'll look back on and think that's a pretty solid day out. So unfortunately a loss here for the Sandgate team, but as you said, West play better and finishing top of the ladder, it's probably something that well deserved for them, although finals do funny things. So
they do. It's a different competition altogether when you get to semi-finals.
It is, and if they'd held a couple of those catches early on, it might have been a different game. But that's cricket, and full credit to the girls out there today. They've all played with their full heart. So a good afternoon, or good morning.
It was certainly a great morning to watch some great cricket being played across it. We said at the start of the match that the key in this game was going to be the fact that Sandgate Redcliffe didn't have the strong bowling attack that the West team had. And in the end, that's proven to be the result in this game. The girls, both teams getting a nice healthy applause from the crowd that's come in here. But Western Suburbs get the first place in tomorrow's grand final. Now we'll be coming back this afternoon at 2:30 to see second versus third in the semi-finals. Gold Coast taking on Valleys here at Allan Border Field. But in the first semi-final, the Western Suburbs team have come out on top over Sandgate Redcliffe. Congratulations to them. Thanks very much for your time. Look forward to catching up at 2:30 this afternoon.
Sounds good. Thank you.